I don't see how we can make bigger enemies.
To be offended or frightened of everything.
So you've become like the sort of Tony Scarface of podcasting.
Welcome to the morning show, ladies and gentlemen. It is a frozen Wednesday morning. I fell down. It was fun. George is in the studio, even though he braved the elements to get here from the South Shore.
What do you mean, even though?
Yeah, you're right. That didn't make any sense. There was a lot going on.
Calm down. You're too
excited.
You're too excited. Welcome, everybody. It is the morning show. We have a lot to talk about since Canada has fallen. And one of the people responsible
right here in the
is
studio.
sitting here in this studio. George Jiggity, Comrade Transrizos, is here to explain to us why
he left the country.
no longer having rights is actually a good thing, and it's good for our safety, and we should just shut the fuck up and take it. The real problem here is Russia.
Let us know.
Why do you think Canada has fallen?
Canada has fallen, buddy.
Well, I don't know, because we used to have certain safeties and rights, and then your buddy Justin Dildo took them all away 2 days ago.
LDAU. Yeah, that's funny. I like that.
Especially us, people who are saying things that the government might not like.
not
Are
gonna
our
lie.
accounts going to be frozen?
For the first time in my life, I'm considering not naming names anymore on the internet.
I'm going to name them all. By the way, I saw Jagmeet Singh's office.
Yeah.
His
It
name
was,
you can name.
it was vandalized by his fans. Vandalized. It's a bunch of hippies, so it was just orange signs saying, "You're not for the people."
There's like Jagmeet Singh, Trudeau's puppet, like
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
orange banners.
It's true, though.
Meat puppet.
Bro, Jack Layton rolling around in his grave.
Exhumed.
He's like, "Oh, we were for the people." And Jack Meat's like, "Yeah, exactly. Fuck the people." He's like, No. You're misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding.
Or-
You
That's the
son
wrong
of a
F word.
bitch."
That's the wrong F word.
Or you mean march towards them? No.
And Dr. Gaslight Trudeau, did you see yesterday? He announced. He goes, "We're against tyranny. So we're against Russia. We're, people need to be free." I was like, what are you talking about, bro? They're like, free speech is important. He was talking about Cuba a few days ago,
Yeah,
too.
I saw that was a great tweet. That was.
What are you saying?
Can I just ask you a
Yeah,
question?
he's definitely
Do
in a
you
very-
think Russia is in on all this?
No.
Like that's what's happening. This
No,
is
this
just
is
something to
absurd.
distract
No,
us?
I know most of the people that are in on this. They're all angry. They were all angry with the government. They don't like Trudeau. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with foreign entities. It's Canadians that are mad.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. This whole how you take it, the cabal of the We Build Back Better cabal.
Oh, God.
Okay, you think Russia's in on this? That's why they're stirring up shit in the Ukraine.
I don't think so, because as far as I understand, somebody could correct me, modern Russia, they're against kind of like... Actually, no, there might be, yeah, because it's a bunch of Leninists that are pushing for the WEF. So, yeah, maybe, actually. You never know.
I don't know.
He was one of their young leaders. And
Was
they
he?
do...
Vladimir?
Yeah.
But he's come a
And I
long
saw that
way since then. He's riding bears and shit. He does what he wants now.
I
He's an
saw that
oligarch.
photo
I'm
of
going right.
Klaus talking to the world, to his peoples, to tell them in the back there's a little bust of Lenin. And it's like, yeah, that's gonna
There's
help
a
us.
bust of Lenin behind Klaus.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
it's all communist nonsense. G,
Right.
defend the honor of your Lord and Savior.
I don't expect much from George.
No, there's no defending. I mean, just to follow up from what we spoke about last week, obviously, because we spoke about the potential of this Emergencies Act being voted in Parliament, and indeed it was voted on I think it was Tuesday, Monday.
They
because
voted
all the spineless-
Monday night.
after they had already started enforcing it, and then they voted
Right.
after they had cleared out the protesters, which was the emergency.
Yeah.
in quotation.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
voted yes for this.
That was my
after the
biggest. Yeah, that
emergency.
was my biggest question, because obviously I'm not sure how things work. How could they enforce it before it was voted on? Number one. So I wasn't sure if they were acting on what the government had announced, that they were going to invoke an Emergencies Act, or if they were acting on Doug Ford's.
I mean, if they were acting on Doug Ford's proclamation, I mean, they could have.
They shouldn't have blocked people's bank accounts, right?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Those are two separate things.
So the fact that they did that means that they were. Yeah, exactly. That's what. That was confusing for me.
They were imposing something that wasn't legally viable yet, that they didn't get a vote in. Look, this is all. That's what I'm saying. They're doing whatever they want.
I wanted to ask you about that when we were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah.
Is the Emergency Measures Act the kind of thing that the second he calls it forward, it's enacted?
Then why vote for it?
Then why vote for it? And you can't do that in a democratic country.
Until they vote
no,
for it.
you can't do that.
Law? They can't.
Yeah, that's what was confusing for me, and that's why I thought that there's no way.
That wouldn't make sense.
No, I'm saying you're not supposed to in a democratic country. That's why we bring this stuff through. That's why we also have a Senate. You're not supposed to do. You can't do things like that. The fact that he's just ruling by decree.
When is it going to the Senate?
It's now in the Senate.
Right
they're
now?
debating it. Yeah.
What's there to debate?
What do you think?
The Conservatives.
Oh, it's gonna. No. It's
gonna fall, right?
It's the Liberals that control the Senate, so it's most
Oh,
probably gonna...
I didn't know. I thought it was the Conservatives.
No.
When did that happen?
Well, see, it's weird because ever since Trudeau came in 2015, or ever since he became a leader of the Liberal Party, I should say, he separated the Liberal senators. He made them independent because he didn't want to have Liberal influence, from the parliamentarians into the Senate.
Visibly liberal.
But at the end of the day, I mean, they all vote in line with what the Liberals
But
do.
the voting in line, what happened to democracy and free
I don't
thinkers?
know, but I was gonna.
That's the problem with democracy in our current form in the States, everywhere. It's the party system.
Yeah, it's this.
The party system is the problem.
Dude, Lightbound, Lightbound, I have a video of him.
voted for it.
2 days before, a video of him saying, yeah, this stuff doesn't make any sense. I can't see any reason why this could be justified, this Emergency Act. And then when it comes time for you to vote, for you to actually show some spine, you're like, all right, sorry, Mr. Trudeau, I vote for you.
I was on Monday night.
Yeah,
on Monday.
bitchy.
Yeah, on Monday night. They had a little bar there that scrolls over all the names and what they vote. And I was looking. I wanted to see what Lightbound voted.
I took a photo for you. It was yes.
No, yeah, but I saw it.
You're naming names.
Oh, I'm naming names.
I saw it, and I'm like, wait, that just doesn't make sense. The guy literally, like a week before this vote, came out and said that his party had taken this line.
George, what kind of intimidation happens in politics?
I don't know, man. I don't know. So I was trying to piece it together because he said that he wasn't in line with the party, with his caucus, with respect to all the measures, and he came out in his press conference. He said that what we need to do is maybe prepare a plan that is quantifiable, that we can something that we can
Didn't the Conservatives bring that as a motion?
And then they brought that as a motion.
They
he voted in favor of that motion.
Okay,
so I thought,
that
okay,
makes sense
cool.
based on what you're saying. Sure.
Okay, so I just thought that he just wanted the government to adopt a position where there's a plan in place for us to come out and to slowly start lifting the measures. That essentially is what he said. He never came out and said we should let the protesters do what they want. Like, he never mentioned anything about the protest. Maybe he's against what they were doing. Maybe he's in favor of clearing it out.
This is why, before, I got to stop you now because I have a man who talks politics in front of me.
You mean maybe he's for?
No, hold on a second. But this has nothing to do with the protests. First of all, what do you mean maybe he's against protests? We live in a free country. You're allowed to protest. If he's against the blockades, by the time this was in votes, all of those places were cleared out. Mm-hmm. So there was no border that was blocked. So there was no reason to vote yes. What he voted yes for on that Emergencies Act was essentially democratically elected officials voted against democracy, because when you can go after someone that contributed to a cause that you don't think is good for you as the government, and you can freeze those people's accounts. So, for example, I have a Patreon. You could consider that a fundraiser, right? Sure. If I'm talking shit about Justin Trudeau and he thinks, look, this is fucking subversive, he's talking a lot of shit about the government, people are going to lose faith in the government, him and his backers, which would be my patrons, we're going to freeze their accounts. In a free and just society,
that's impossible.
That is, well, it's not impossible. This is happening now. But I'm saying
it should be impossible.
It should be, it should be implausible. It should be like nobody would have the heart, the guts to do something like that.
Impossible
to do it.
Well,
nothing's impossible. Phil, when you try, you can achieve many goals.
Fine. It should be not allowed.
It should be not allowed, but not even thought of. As a leader, you should be like, "Fuck, they're pissed. Let me quell this down." We're in a democratic society.
Sorry, Sako's apparently speaking in the house right now, anchors, and
he's blasting.
Leo's on fire.
Yeah.
Leo's the last hope for Canadian democracy right now.
Well, I mean,
good dude.
Yeah, I mean, even though he knows that it's probably not going anywhere. I mean,
but he's gonna stand. These are Leo's hot gates.
Yeah.
He's standing his hot gates.
This
right
is
now.
great. But a lot of people don't realize what this means.
Like this could destroy his career depending on how far
No,
he goes.
No. Why would it?
But Georgie, you've been in politics a long time. A lot of people don't know what this means. I see a lot of people online. They don't understand. They think, oh, this is just something to clear protesters because they're breaking windows. First of all, what window
guys,
is broken?
It's the Patriot
Guys,
Act on crack. That's what it is.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm not totally against governments passing special laws to clear protesters or rowdy, like putting in French.
People who are being mischievous.
Yeah, in French it's mettre des balises, like just to make sure that this is what the rules are. And we mentioned on the show, they did in Quebec.
We already have those rules.
Yeah.
They're part of the law, and the government says, "Listen, respect them, or we're not."
But
gonna
we're
let
allowed
you
to we're allowed to peacefully protest. Peacefully protest.
But when it gets out of hand, or when it.
But it didn't get out of hand. They had bouncy castles.
I think.
Yeah, what I'm saying is
That's
that
how you know it was off the hook.
They had no violence.
Yeah.
But the first time there was violence is when
the
Trudeau
cops
sent in the
Yeah,
stormtroopers.
but when it goes above and beyond the mission that you're
true
there
bluffing.
to represent, I mean, is it really still a demonstration?
That's
or
not
what are
up to you. And it
protesting?
never went above and beyond.
Look, I'll say this, and I'll play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
George is half right. It was at some point. It became more than just a protest. It was an occupation of that space.
Okay, of that space. We're occupying this space. Dude,
But
let's
it's
not
the
overuse the
parliament,
word
right?
occupy. They
No,
didn't go
I-
inside the parliament.
No, they didn't.
The parliament's whatever in front of the parliament, Wellington Street, right?
Yeah.
At some point, it's not just a protest; it was an encampment, right? You literally, we've had this conversation. You've said it yourself. Remember Occupy Wall Street?
Yeah.
You were like, "Oh, you can't have a tent city here."
I never said that you can't have a tent city here.
Why not? What do you forgot? I don't mean
I was
on the
against
air.
Wall. I was all for Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah, but what was its purpose, right?
Yeah.
The fact that it was occupying that area. Look,
I was never. Yeah, you're saying stuff. You're putting not even
Okay,
putting words in my mouth.
let- let- let-
I'm just trying to- I'm
That's
just
not a
trying to
stance
draw
I
an
took.
example.
I'm for Occupy
I'm
Wall
trying
Street.
to draw an example that doesn't.
But they were coerced. They were taken over after, and then they shut the fuck up.
So look,
That's true.
So look, what I was saying is that I don't have necessarily a problem when governments take this special action to make sure that everyone's peace and safety is secure, in which case it wasn't. I mean, when you're there 21 days and you're disrupting traffic, businesses are closed, people can't sleep. I mean, it impacts the
Okay.
surrounding population. Hold on.
Yeah.
But what I do not understand is how you can go from there where it may be legitimate to say, listen, after 21 days, we got the point. You see the different provinces that are taking measures.
But the federal government never changed its
never
stance.
said that. No, I know. But what
So
I'm
they
saying
didn't
is
get the
that-
point.
No. What I'm saying is that there was a way for them to come out and say, this is justifiable, what we're doing to clear the streets. It's an enough is enough kind of thing. And then the contrast
without
to that.
passing any additional legislation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
saying. Okay.
And then the contrast
He's
to
right
that.
about that. They could've.
Yeah, no,
They could've, of course. The government
I don't disagree with that. But what they did, they took that to the extreme and said, you know what? Who are these people? Let's get those face recognition now from Facebook. You can pretty much find
Yeah.
anyone you want. Get the accounts, who's supporting them, find them, where do they belong, what organizations.
Our
who's supporting
democratically elected government is
I mean,
doxing people.
these
Yeah.
guys went down the fucking chain and they're like, everyone is in that same pool. And okay, maybe I support, like, not me personally, but like, if I supported them, what's it to you, buddy?
Yeah.
What's it to you? Because I gave them $1,000, $500, $5, whatever it is, because I felt linked to the reason behind this movement.
Which
You're gonna come
was
and
the
freeze
mandates,
my
right?
account.
This is a serious question. So they were against the mandates, okay? So let's say people who supported, anybody who gave money to them, they were against the mandates. How can you track down those people, freeze their accounts, and you be against it when all of the provincial governments are also dropping the mandates, meaning the elected officials of each province, the country,
Yeah.
is thinking the same way as these truckers were. Hold on a second. So for the ideals, what do you mean they're not?
You know what's happening.
No,
right?
no, but no,
They're not dropping mandates.
But I don't want to get into this deep. The point
It's
is,
not deep at all. It's so obvious.
that's not what I'm trying to get into. Right now, what they were saying is drop the mandates, right?
Yeah.
Politicians around the country, Saskatchewan fucking jumped the gun on that one, we're dropping the mandates. The World Health Organization said it months before. Yeah, these mandates are doing nothing. Drop them. There's too much. Okay. So what I'm saying is these people weren't following some kind of fringe ideology, so you have to track down who's behind them. Who would fund this crazy idea? This crazy idea that people said, yeah, fuck, I'll give $5 to.
crowdfunded.
Was crowdfunded by people who are following the science. So I can't see the logic of let's trace who did it because they're a danger to society. We got to freeze their accounts. For what?
That's
They
'cause
followed the
You
science.
can't track the logic because you're looking for logic for a solution that you think is logical, but that's not the problem to the government. The problem was there's an
way of
outlying
funding, yeah.
wave of non-support for what we're doing.
Exactly, and there's a way to fund that.
Non-compliance,
And
and
there's-
they're being
yeah.
funded. So now we need to paint them in a different light so that we can go after them. What's an easy thing to attack? Terrorists.
Yeah.
Nobody likes terrorists. I'm sorry. I was reading on the
I'm with you.
OPP's website. No, not the OPP. The Ottawa Police. Most of the fines
OPP?
given out.
The OPP.
not the Ontario provincial. Yeah,
know
you
me.
know me. Most of the fines that were given out were misdemeanor fines for mischief. Terrorists are a lot of things. They're not really mischievous. Like, if you're being charged for mischief, you're not a terrorist.
You could be a mischievous terrorist.
I know, but it's not the only thing you are. There's a few other things associated with it, like, I don't know, illegally buying arms, plotting to overthrow governments, buying weapons. Like,
Yeah, I think
I peed on your bed.
There was no planification to overthrow a government. It was just
no, there was.
No, that's what I'm saying.
What?
What?
They were
they were going to take over the government and they were going to run the
We're
country.
going to have an insurrection. Is that what you're saying?
Well, there were the lady there, Lich, and the other guys, like 3-4 the top guys.
They were going to run the. I want to hear this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was reports, and I think even in their Facebook page, they said one of them actually said we're not going down. I'm paraphrasing now. It goes, the only way this is going to end is with a bullet in Justin Trudeau's head.
I mean, that's intense.
It's not an insurrection. That's an assassination. But still, go on.
And then a lot of them were saying, "Look, we're not leaving." The hold the line kind of thing that they're pushing.
Hold the door.
And their goal was, and they were saying it.
What did they say? Just say it. Yeah, you keep feeding. What was the goal?
Their goal was to get people from the Senate to negotiate to them to see how they can get a transition government. Today, there's news that came
that's
out.
fine. That's democratic.
That's not democratic.
Yeah, that's not an insurrection either.
It's not an insurrection.
Yeah, you have no confidence.
That's not how it works, dude.
Yeah, it is. You have no confidence in a minority government that's abused its power and went against the science. You have to step up. You have to.
And you're telling the people that are following you, guys, don't worry about it. We're gonna get the Senate on our side, and we're gonna overthrow. That's not how it works.
They never said overthrow. You're saying overthrow. They said we're going to talk to the Senate about a transitional government. Yeah.
They wanted Justin Trudeau to resign, which I think is a ridiculous
to get rid of him.
request.
And then the other thing,
We supported this. We here in Canada, you too, we supported this in the Arab world, the Arab Spring. We supported this in other countries, but when we do it here, we're criminals.
There's a lot of misinformation, first of all, on the way that the process works, right? So
I'll agree with you.
Regardless, I will agree with that.
The other thing that they started spreading to everyone was like, listen, guys, if we get over 900,000 signatures over to the Governor General, she could overthrow the government.
Well, she could overthrow the government, but I don't think she gives a shit about it.
No, she can't.
Yes, she can.
No, she can't, guys.
How can she not? How can the Governor General? The Governor General is the representative of the Queen in Canada.
Yeah. True.
The Governor General is
could
actually
suspend
the
Parliament.
highest. It's not the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the highest elected official in Canada, but power-wise, it's the Governor
She's the
General
head of
because
state.
we're still.
She's the head of state.
George
She's the head of
what he
state.
always says, which is she never uses that power.
Whether she used it or not, she has the power.
Legally, does she have it?
To come and say, I'm suspending
the
government
Parliament.
closing.
She's done it before. We've suspended Parliament a few times.
Of the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister asks for the request.
But we've suspended Parliament, which is our
Why is he requesting it from her?
Yeah, he would do it himself.
Because
It's
he
because
doesn't
she
have
has
the
the
power.
power.
Okay, yeah, I understand, but she won't. I don't think she could do it on her own.
No, she would never do it on her own. She would never
she
do it. She has the
legally
power
can.
legally. She would never do it, but she has the power. Legally, you would never do that.
Upon the request of the represented government
George, here's a question.
parliamentarians.
A side example. If 50% of the population rose up suddenly, and we had a clear-cut situation of a despot, right? Now.
It's getting clear, yeah. But hold on, I know what you mean. Like some guy out there stabbing people and shit, yeah.
All the people of Canada, fucking wrote a letter individually. Let's make it simple.
Yeah.
To the Governor General and said, our government
that's what they
is
told
out of control.
Yeah, but she doesn't care about a letter. Even if she gets 10 million
If 50%
signatures.
of the population did that, do you not think
No,
the
she would
Governor
never do
General
that,
would
guys.
call some kind of special
She would
meeting?
never do that.
So let me tell you. So this is a tweet from the Governor General's office because people listening to this, they're like, oh yeah, let's get those emails to the Governor General. We'll
Who's
throw
the,
it."
I never even said that.
this is the
I
first time I
told
heard-
you
no,
you
he's
can
saying
get
what they were
30
saying.
million signatures. It wouldn't make a difference. 'Cause
I'm telling
we
you.
have no power. She has the power. If she doesn't, like suspending Parliament, the reason why
let's
they
just
asked
hear what
the
he's gonna
Governor
say.
General, yeah.
People were told that if this happens, they could succeed at overthrowing the government. So
Okay.
Stop using the word overthrow.
Yeah, you're saying
But that's
overthrow.
what it is, man.
No, it's not.
What's
It's the
not
Governor
overthrow?
General's the one who does it.
Okay.
She's not overthrowing
Because that's like
the
saying,
government.
guys, every 4 years we could vote and we could overthrow the government. It's like, no, that's just the process.
He's right.
That's
Okay.
just stop
So,
saying overthrow.
The Office of the Secretary to the Governor General is aware that misinformation encouraging citizens to contact the Governor General or our office to register votes of no confidence is circulating on social media. This information is not correct. No such registry or process exists.
Okay, hold on a second.
Hold on.
I have a that's
That's a
scary.
different answer.
Yeah, that's a different
That's a
answer.
different answer.
And here's another thing.
Read
That's
it again. Read the last line.
read it
Yeah.
again.
No such registry. So the registry doesn't exist.
The registry
But
doesn't
obviously.
exist.
but the process doesn't exist either.
Of course,
That
there is.
registry that doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
of
You
course,
didn't-
there is no
the station doesn't
process.
have that
We have
power.
no process here where the people can put a vote of no confidence. The vote of no confidence comes from Parliament. But what you just said is fucking scary because they just said there's no process for the citizens, even if, like he said, if 50 million people, well, here we're 30, so let's say 30 million people vote no confidence to scare the government, even then there's no acknowledgement. That's what I'm telling you. The Governor General has ultimate power, doesn't need to listen to people. You can have 30 million signatures, it doesn't change anything. If they don't discuss amongst themselves and they have a reason to do it, the Governor General is not forced by anyone apart from, let's say, the Prime Minister or the Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Governor General doesn't have to listen to anyone else.
While George reads this for a second.
Yeah.
The Governor General of Canada has the legal authority to dismiss a sitting Prime Minister.
I know. I've already said this. But what we said is we don't have, if I vote
The
a million.
process does not
Hold on a
exist.
second.
The
No,
registry does not either.
dismissing a member of Parliament and suspending a government is two different things.
But they've already suspended government many times, even in my lifetime.
Not the Governor General.
The Governor General has to, when Parliament gets suspended, it's the Governor General that does it.
Upon the request of the Prime Minister.
Exactly.
though.
The Prime Minister requests their boss, it's ceremonial titles, to suspend it.
By the way,
The Prime
there's a
Minister
term
can't do
for
it themselves.
everything we're discussing. It's called reserve power. It sits with the Governor General.
Yeah, I knew this. I knew this for a long time that we don't have the.
George
'cause
always argues with us that they would never and that the Queen's
they-
powers are not
I'm
real.
not saying
We're
that
not
they would.
they would.
Because,
Yeah.
like I told you,
But
even if me
legally-
and you right now collect 20 million signatures, the governor's just going to tell us, I don't care. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. That's one. But do they have the
Governor
power? They
General
have the power.
appointed
But
by Justin Trudeau.
yeah,
Anyways.
exactly. They have the power, but they're never going to do that
Anyway, the point of this was that
because they don't care about us.
But wait, isn't she Cree or like?
she's
the northern,
native.
Oh, that's badass if she does
maybe,
that.
maybe she'll fuck around. She'll be like, you know what? Fuck this. Get the fuck out of here.
Métis, I think. I'm not
I
sure.
don't even speak French. Suck
George
my dick.
walks in with a headdress. I'm in charge now.
So the point
I
of
am
this.
the captain now.
So the point of this was to say that at some point, this whole movement took a turn where they started kind of discrediting themselves with having these sorts of, information.
I'll let you finish, but I'm pretty sure.
I don't know about the
that
bullet to the
This
head.
is the misinformation that you've been talking about.
What?
Everything you're saying right now, I would challenge you after the show. Go and verify all these statements. with
I
your own
didn't know about
eyes.
the bullet to the head, and I will say one thing
never
to
heard
everyone
that.
watching.
Yeah, it
I
came
disagree
out.
with Trudeau. I think he's being a bitch.
I don't think anyone
but guys,
should kill him. No.
Since we don't like feeling like we're in the third world with horses and stuff, the same thing goes with we can't just fucking go around saying we're trying
this
to
came
kill
from,
people.
the guy Patrick King, who was one of the.
Bro,
the
this is
organi-
La Presse.
Yeah, no, but we can't go.
Come on,
It doesn't
guys,
matter who.
Ryan.
I'm just saying. Look, I'm taking what you're saying as serious. Okay, like that it was
Yeah,
said.
okay, fine.
And what I'm saying is, we got the answer to every politician or everybody that you hate can't be murder, because then we're descending into fucking madness. Madness. Use legal recourse.
Every time we talk about this, all I can think of is Forrest Whitaker wearing a kilt. I'm like, this is where we're living.
No,
We're in
George.
Uganda.
George, you've been in politics a long time. There's a big difference with this guy is fucking incompetent. He's useless. Get him out. And let's just shoot him. There's a big fucking difference, bro.
There is, but I mean, when whether it's misinformation or whether it's factual, when these things come all the way to the top, and you're like, shit, the fuck, these guys really, there's a lot of aggressivity and there's like threats and aggressiveness. Yeah,
That's
Aggression.
Aggression.
I'm aggressive against him. I'm very mad at the way he's governing all
And
that,
then-
but I don't want the guy
and
to
then-
get murdered, bro.
No,
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, but I mean, so you're part of the sitting MPs, and these things are starting to surface, and you're thinking, shit, is our life at risk? What kind of threat are we dealing with? Let's not.
The MPs?
Yeah, the MPs.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking generally now.
Clarity. That's all.
You know?
I just wanted to know.
What do we do? You know what I mean? How can we sustain this sort of behavior for another month or 2
Well,
months?
here's an idea. How about doing the democratic thing and listening to the millions that are angry and trying to negotiate?
Now the other thing, the flip side of that, and this is one of the
How do you negotiate with a faceless group though? They had no one
Exactly.
central figurehead.
I thought you guys he just said they had central figureheads
That's
who
the
were
point I'm
arrested.
making. They don't actually have central figureheads.
So do they or they don't?
they don't.
they have
So then they're not a terrorist organization.
Look, they have people that had organized it, where they're the leaders of something.
They organized the convoy.
People just latched onto it. It's not like an organized thing. Like I remember the student demonstrations. The government was actually negotiating them because they're organized.
They had representatives,
There's representation. They got elected to preside over their
They
student
also had
union.
some crazy radical anarchists.
Of course they
and
did.
Fascist
Of course, but
factions,
again, these things
still negotiated with them.
But again, these things.
But those were also mostly white protesters. Here, there's a lot of natives. The government does that shit differently.
Yeah.
Go on.
So, but onto that, I want to say, because yesterday I was listening to a statement that our friend Leo Housakos was saying in the Senate,
the last king of Sparta.
and he brought up a great point, and he's like, listen, never in the history of this country, even when we were at war, has the government taken such extreme measures? Not even a couple of years ago when the parliament was actually under attack. Let's not forget that. There was a guy that ran in the parliament.
Yeah, I
and this is
remember.
not 50 years ago. This is like a couple of years ago, like 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
Why don't I remember this at
What
all?
are you
He
talking
killed
about?
the
They shot
guard,
the guy.
and then he tried to kill Harper, but Harper was hiding in a closet.
That shot the soldier at the,
he ever come out of the
at the
closet?
war memorial. And
No,
then
that's
he
the
ra-
debate.
he killed the soldier at the war memorial. And
I
then
don't
he,
remember this at all.
You don't remember this?
What are you talking about, man?
No.
And then he ran into
What year
parliament.
was this?
Yeah.
This is like probably 2015, 16, around there.
And CBC was making fun of Harper. They go, look at this bitch. He's hiding in a closet. When all the people in the CBC's offices, if there was a gunman, they would
hide.
shit themselves and suck his dick, and so
the
they
guy's
don't
like,
get
"Stop
shot.
sucking
Yeah,
my
exactly.
dick."
You don't
And they were
remember
making
that?
fun of
No.
Harper for
Guys,
hiding in a
There was
closet.
this whole
I
operation,
honestly-
and the
I don't
sergeant of
remember
arms,
this at all.
the sergeant of arms of the parliament shot the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his job. That's I don't remember this at all.
Oh, it was a crazy time.
So
Very
his,
scary.
Yeah, so his argument was like, even when the parliament was under attack,
I
2014.
don't remember this.
it's 2014. So even at that point, did we not invoke an emergency act? Like, we were under attack. Our
Yeah.
lives were literally
Legitimately,
at risk.
yeah.
Some psychopath walked in with an whatever they're called, the MK, whatever.
Well, that was
headline.
one man.
Stephen Harper tells Tory
doesn't-
MPs he's sorry he left during attack. Yeah, because they were mad at him for
They were
going to
mad at
hide.
him.
But
Yeah,
you
but
hear
it's not-
gunshots,
but
that's
it's not-
natural.
Head of state, whatever.
But it's
That's
not his
natural,
guys.
bro. This guy's
No.
not in a war zone.
No, but it's not him that says,
Also,
I
he's
gotta
not
run and
carrying-
hide.
also-
This guy has security. They're like,
they grab
follow
him.
a protocol.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
like,
they
fuck-
grabbed him and they've added
He's the head of
to it.
state. Yeah,
and
they
he
got
just
it.
follow, and he just follows. You gotta do.
Yeah, because if a gunman entered the parliament right now, hypothetically, you think Justin Trudeau would be like, guys, get my AKs.
But hold on.
Get my boxing gloves.
He's gonna do the
Hold on.
exact
Hold on.
He takes off his shirt.
What's wrong with him running
Nothing.
away from a gunman?
Nothing.
Bro, if a gunman walks in here, we have no guns.
Yeah, you gotta hide.
I'm gonna be the first one to
have
jump
no
out the
gun.
window, bro.
You're the biggest guy.
Unless I have a gun. Unless I
But
have a
like,
gun.
guys,
it's
hold
different
on a
story.
second.
Trudeau's like, why are they aiming guns at me? I took out the fucking polish.
What are you doing? I'm camouflaging, guys. I'm hiding in the dark. No, but here, hold on. 1 second.
He's going predator mode.
Everybody
Painting
make
himself green to mesh with
They're burgundy, no? Like pink.
He's like this. They're looking at him. He's like, I'm a chair. Keep moving.
No, but here's my
He
question.
hides behind a curtain. His feet are still showing.
He
Good
lies
times.
down where the scepter is. Justin Trudeau went and hid in the Defen bunker, I mean, I'm assuming, for pretend COVID when
Yeah.
the trucker convoy was 40 clicks out of Ottawa.
Yeah.
Nobody made fun of him. I mean, people made fun of him, but we were called assholes.
Look, I don't mind him being a
A
pussy.
gunman entered the parliament. Stephen Harper's personal security detail, who we pay to protect him, hid him, and he had to apologize. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me.
That's ridiculous.
And
Well,
I'm
you
not
have to
like- I'm
apologize
not a
because the
big fan
media,
of Harper
it's
personally.
where the media leans. They attack them. You know.
So
hard.
anyway, so the point is that just so everyone listening or watching can compare and
I have
contrast.
an idea.
Hold on, just so everyone listening can compare and
Yeah.
contrast.
Yeah.
What was happening then, and everyone, there was whether you agree with Harper or whether you're conservative or not. Just so you can understand the level of leadership here. The next day, people were back in the house. Everyone was calm. They try to get everyone to
Harper's
breathe.
Yeah, during Harper's assassination.
Yeah, and then
They have counseling.
probably
There was, yeah, there was.
Sure
There
there
actually
was,
was,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, and everything was back to normal, even though, there was a lot of question marks.
And it was crazy. A guy died. Two guys died.
yeah.
Terrorist and security.
Yeah. And
Wait,
now.
he was a terrorist or was he a lone wolf?
No, that's a terrorist though. You could be a. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
he a white guy?
and
That's what I'm asking.
And compare that to now. You know what I mean? Where all shit has fucking hit the fan and nobody knows how to even control the situation. I mean, it's been 3 weeks now, over 3 weeks,
No,
and
it's more than
people are
3
still
weeks.
wondering.
It's like 5 weeks, isn't it?
No, they were there for 20, 21 days. Let's say,
okay.
let's say a month.
Okay,
whatever.
a month, fine.
Because let's say with all the warnings that they got
No,
that we're
it's
coming,
sure.
you know,
It's 3 weeks.
okay.
that
It
they
doesn't
were
matter.
there. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Quick maths.
So just compare. I mean, it's ridiculous to see where we've come.
Yeah.
I have
the
a question, George.
Yeah.
Do you know which article of the Emergency Act they used to justify it? Like, is it public safety, welfare, or
I don't
which
know
one was
because
it?
we had spoken about that on last episode where there was like a couple criteria that would justify invoking the emergency
None
act.
of which are in effect,
And
except
we
for
said-
technically
Taknale?
a health emergency if they wanted to use COVID, which we've had for 2 years and had no emergency.
Yeah.
But anyways,
So I don't understand how. I mean, I think one was if the security and sovereignty is at risk.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. I don't remember the criteria, but we went through them, and it was like, I mean, and the other one was if legally whatever actions cannot be taken already then you're voting. You know what I mean?
But this was unnecessary and over the top is what you're saying.
Also, sorry to interrupt you.
You're not.
Still
This was a
today,
show of force.
You were
That's
talking.
all.
I interrupted you. Yeah.
so even now, that whole downtown core area of
Wellington?
Ottawa
Yeah.
is blocked off, and it's considered some sort of whatever
It's
red
a
zone.
red
It's a
zone.
heritage moment.
It's like a red
It's
zone.
a Checkpoint Charlie's situation.
You cannot walk. Like you can't cross in there.
Oh,
Even
that's
now.
that's normal behavior. That's not.
And
I mean,
people
that's the
were
sign
actually-
of,
people that were complaining about the truckers are not complaining about the police having blockaded off the whole
Because they
The
can't-
same
can't-
spot.
the same spot.
Yeah, the same spot that you couldn't go through is still blocked, and they're like, "This is great though," because the other guys were honking. These guys are gonna beat the shit out of me with nightsticks.
Yeah, they're like we can't even walk our dogs.
So the
I've actually
concern-
seen a few reports. Sorry, George, a few reports of people who live in the area who are like, "Yeah, we wanted them to leave, but like last night I got harassed by the cops for going to get coffee, and I had to show ID."
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. So from
People
the
don't realize until it's too late.
Yeah.
from the reports now that I'm reading, it appears though that the ones that did leave and weren't forced out or got their truck towed or whatever, the ones that actually left didn't go too far away. So I don't know why they're not saying where they are if they're so sure that they're close by and we still need to be careful because they may be reorganizing. Okay, where are they? We don't know. I mean, how hard is it to spot hundreds of trucks? You know what I'm
pretty
saying?
straightforward.
Anyway,
So mysterious. They're hiding in the jungles of Canada.
They built a wooden horse for Trudeau and left it there.
They're like, "Here's a gift."
but the point I'm
like
trying to
meth.
make is that they're still on high alert because a lot of the people, well, I don't know what kind of status they have because obviously they're not organized. They're saying that was just an introduction. There's chapter 2 coming now.
Get the
we're
fuck
prepared.
out of here. That's just so they can just keep. They
Probably.
don't even have to
Maybe.
vote on
Well,
it. They
but
can just keep extending it up
maybe.
to 5
You know
times
what?
or
But
something.
I'll
Maybe.
give the government credit for a couple of things. Number one, they tried to stop this with clever ways that used to work back in the day, like the false flag shit. First, they try to stop it by planting a dude with a swastika, clearly planting one guy with a swastika. Protesters don't see him. The only people that see him is the people taking the photos, and then it goes out. The people at the protest, we've never seen one fucking guy with a swastika, right? They try. Because there's so many videos, because there's so many Punjabi truck drivers, because of all that, people are like, yeah, this is not white supremacist. This is not a white supremacist movement. What the fuck are you talking about? They're like, okay, that didn't work. All right. Now we're going to try
Goddamn
again.
brown guys.
Yeah,
There's
they're
too many of them.
fucking aggressive. They're out there destroying monuments. That's what they said.
They're just-
Desecrating
they're gaslighting
monuments.
us.
They're spray painting monuments. And then they're like, well, they weren't spray painting monuments. They put Canadian flags on Terry Fox. It's
Yeah.
not the same
And then they
as
cleaned them
taking
too. They
down the
also
statue.
cleaned
Yeah, then
them, yeah.
the other guys came and cleaned them because they thought since it was offensive, let's clean it. So they're like, fuck, bro, what are we going to do now?
That's a great my bad moment. Like, we got this. We'll fix it.
Where the truckers fucked up, and they don't admit it, but it is true because I've seen videos from many, many days. They were honking, maybe not all of them, but at night, incessantly. Okay, even though there was supposed to be these rules of 8 to 8, so then the second regular people that were around that would have probably been on the side, some of them turn on them. They go, look, man. Yeah, of course I don't want these fucking mandates. I want to live my life, but motherfucker, I want to sleep.
Stop fucking honking.
And I know people in Ottawa who I saw their videos over the weekend and stuff who are not against or anything. They're like, yeah, protest, whatever. But they go, fuck, I can't get to work. Like, there was one girl that was trying to get to work for hours. I was watching her thing, and she's like, I can't make any money. I have to go back home. I've been for hours. She goes, and people were mad at her. She's like, I'm not saying I'm against. What I'm saying is I can't get to work. I can't make my money. She goes, now. So you start getting regular people against you, then it's so much
That's what I said
easier.
last week,
It's so much
right?
easier
Yeah.
for the government to step in.
Also,
A
the-
proper protest requires good optics. That's what's important.
Yeah, and on that, because that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I can understand them being against mainstream media because of whatever disinformation.
All the bullshit, yeah, of
all
course,
the
I get
bullshit.
that.
But don't go fucking bullying journalists when they're reporting live and pushing and shoving.
I get what you're saying, but that was one guy that pushed a guy.
No, there was more. I've seen.
How many more?
I've seen 3 from TVA.
But that's out of millions of people. 3 people, that's
TVA.
yeah,
nothing.
but the point that I'm trying to make is that you hate media, you don't like the information.
But now they're here to cover it, and you're basically proving them
Well, no,
wrong.
they're covering
that's
covering
because
it
they
wrong.
that's because also they keep lying.
Yeah.
And keep playing
That's
divisive
true, they were
fucking
playing-
bullshit.
Yeah,
Like,
they do
It doesn't
play.
matter what
you know
they're
what I mean?
saying. Does it justify
But-
you
but it does
knocking
matter.
my
No,
guy
you're
down in
right.
front of the camera?
George is right about this. You lose all credibility the second you start
understand the
shoving.
rage, though.
I'm with George on that. He's 100% right on that.
I get-
What
yes.
I'm saying is I'm not going to paint everyone with the same brush.
But if TVA is there and they're filming, like, hypothetical, I don't know what happened, right? Then they're filming a bunch of people, I don't know, in a bouncy house, and the guy's like, well, we're here on the protest.
Yeah.
And you're there, and you're like, bro, look at the rest of us singing and hugging.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So what's it to you, bro? That's what he says. What does it bother you? Whether it's
What
right
is
or
it?
wrong, does it justify you punching the
No,
guy or
it doesn't
pushing him? Or
justify
No,
you
but
harassing
everyone
him?
reacts differently. And out of 3 million people, if 1 or 3 people decide, oh, I can't take it, and they push, it sucks. But
Look,
that doesn't paint
He's
everyone.
spreading
Let's just say that
He's hurting your cause.
there was a general
But
sentiment.
you know what? If the media was honest, that wouldn't happen.
No, hold on. I got to say something. Like
But,
right now in
there's
Park
no-
X,
yeah.
Park X.
I don't speak
growing
for
up.
podcasts.
Hold on, growing up, we knew many guys that were either criminals, mostly poorly, but some were good criminals. They did all kinds of. Does that brush extend to George? Does
Yes,
does it extend to
absolutely.
me? No, it doesn't.
He worked in government. Of course,
No, it doesn't
extends to him.
extend. I don't like that. I people are individuals.
George,
I do not like the idea of
indoctrinated.
if we're sitting all here and then we find out that Poseidon, I don't know, he's a public masturbator.
guilty by
We're not public
association.
masturbators by association. That's crazy.
No.
So I think that was
We have the potential
You're
to be.
public
You got that right. I got a lot of
adjacent.
potential.
look. Let's just agree. Let's just agree that the big portion of the people that were there was this sentiment, anti-media.
Yeah,
okay,
of
I think
course.
it's safe to say that.
In this very room, there's I don't know about you, but if you're with us, it's 100% anti-mainstream media.
No,
Because they
I'm
keep
not in
fucking
there.
spewing lies.
Yeah,
And
75% of this room is against
but
lies.
Poseidon, it doesn't matter. That's besides the point.
But it does matter.
It does
it
matter.
doesn't.
It does matter because they
we
try
spend
to
$1 billion
they try
a
to-
year giving them money. It does
And they
matter.
try to fan the
that-
flames
that-
of fucking race wars.
That's
Yeah.
a different
So
point.
it does matter.
Okay. You may think that, but are you gonna go see the reporter and go shove him? And
No, he never said
course
that.
not. I never said
but
that.
that's what
He-
I'm saying. So
he says he
regardless
understands
of
the sentiment.
What I'm saying is, regardless of what you may think of the media and what they
Okay, hold on, let me
what
give
they
you
broadcast. Hold on, let me finish.
Let him-
you're
It still
right.
doesn't make any sense for you to gather around
I'm
a
with
guy
you.
with a group of 10 people.
No, that doesn't
block
make
the
sense.
camera, push him, start yelling.
I'm with you.
Fingers, like, dude, let the guy do his job.
fingered
You may
someone?
not, you may not agree with what he's saying, but he's just doing his job.
I'm
man.
with you. I'm with you.
So,
I'm with you there.
yeah, exactly.
I'm 100% with
I'm
you.
with
But
you 100%.
And I saw
Hold
that,
on.
and I saw 3 journalists from TVA. I saw 2 from CBC, and people like.
so
TVA
you saw 5 cosplayers. Any real journalists there?
I mean, you're basically
let me
all
give
of
you
these
this-
all of these
This is the best
journalists.
example. Let's say
Yeah.
I keep I don't know, we're here every day, right? And we keep coming in, and every day I call you, you're a piece of shit, George, you're a piece of shit. And
You're gonna snap
and
at
then
some point.
And then I get everyone to call you a piece of shit. I get everyone to turn on you, and everyone's calling you a piece of shit. And this started from me. Aren't you eventually, bro, a month, 2 months, 3 months, aren't you eventually going to be like, bro, I want to fucking backhand this guy?
No.
I'm not saying it's right, but I understand.
No,
I understand
I
the
will avoid
anti-media
you.
sentiment, but I'm with you. I don't want, because if I understand the anti-mainstream
bad
media sentiment,
situation,
100,
though.
but I don't like the resorting to shoving violence, because then you know what happens? Then it's a slippery slope. Then
Exactly.
you started with one, then all media. Then you know what? You extend it to friends of the media. You extend it to, I don't know, YouTube.
I
You-
get it.
because instead of proving your point that these media, the media,
They're proving their point that you're aggressive.
Exactly.
Hold on. But George, here's the one issue. First and foremost, no, they should not have physically assaulted anyone.
And I agree with that.
Skase. Second of all,
Hey, man.
it's a weird situation the way you've painted the picture, because effectively you're saying, what do you care what he says? Ignore him or you prove him right. Right?
No, I didn't
yes
say
or no?
I didn't say ignore him. I said regardless of what he says, it doesn't justify you being violent towards
Sure,
him.
fine,
That's
okay.
what I said.
But these individuals, they're backed into a corner. I disagree with what they did. I think
Yeah.
it was wrong. But think of the alternative. If they had done, first of all, they were painted in a bad light for being aggressive, right?
Also, they were called racist.
They were called racist.
Many Punjabis were called white supremacists.
Yes. Yeah. But if they had done nothing, would they have won that if they had taken the high ground? No, because the media, the Lenny Riefenstahls of the CBC and the TVA and all these fucking propaganda wings of the government at this point,
They
that's
are.
what they are,
Yeah.
because they're publicly funded, most of them.
Yeah.
They would have just painted whatever picture they want. Video, photo is a completely manipulative.
Okay, so
art
what, so
form.
what you're saying is regardless, it's a lose-lose for us.
It's a
So
lose-lose.
let's just push the guy.
No, no,
I'm saying it's a lose. I'm just trying to make sure that you understand, because you've taken this moral high ground all of a sudden. It was wrong. They shouldn't have. What do you care?
Get off your
But
high horse.
it's
Horses are dangerous,
it's
George.
a lose-lose. It's a fucking lose-lose.
Okay.
Also, it
I'm
is-
trying to get you to agree to that. If you
Oh,
I'm
okay,
not
okay.
di-
What
I'm-
he's trying to
I'm
say
not
is
disagreeing.
it sucks. They should not have been pushing them, but he goes, even if they didn't push them,
It would've
they were
still
still going to
ended
be the
poorly. It
enemy.
would've
Damned
the
if
same
you do,
narrative.
damned if you don't kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
it was
Also,
white supremacist Punjabi if you do, white supremacist Punjabi if you don't.
Yeah, I
Also,
get what
they're
you're saying.
choosing-
It does suck that they're violent,
know
but it
what
does suck
would've
that they
really
can't find
fucking-
reason. No matter what they do, they go, I'm Punjabi.
Well-
Look at this white guy.
Can you imagine?
Well, I'm sorry,
How many people
also
were in
one
Ottawa?
thing-
20,000,
they weren't-
30,000?
whatever,
Even,
thousands
can
of
you
people.
imagine they all went into a Bollywood number?
Yeah.
Call them white supremacists. And fucking Trudeau comes out, they lure him out.
We
he's
got
like,
a super
I
chat.
have to. I can't help it. Get my sorry.
I want to get to the super chat, but before we go to the super chat, I just want to say that these
Super
weren't
chat, what?
They weren't super violent. I saw videos of during the clash of the police officers and
Yeah.
the
the
protesters, bro. At some point, there was a cop who got trapped within the protesters.
Yeah.
You know what they did, bro? They pushed him back out to the line of the officers. They didn't because he got completely separated from the other officers.
Yeah,
if their intention was to cause mayhem and to fuck people up,
No, they weren't there to fight.
One thing's for sure, it was not a violent protest or whatever, guys.
Did you see the cop who fainted?
And no,
I want to know what happened to him.
It only
Anyone
turned-
knows? They were hugging him. Everyone was hugging this cop, and then he just like fainted.
Oh no, there was also a cop that got in trouble. This is the funniest video. He's accepting hugs and they're in a line, right? He's accepting hugs, everything, yeah. And then you hear the guy next to him like, oh, he's yelling at the cop to not accept the hugs. People are like, why are you doing this? Like, we're just being friendly.
and we were exchanging messages with Philip and Poseidon about
Call me
violent
by my
protests.
full name, my legal government name.
Philip.
Philippos.
Philip. No, Philip is not my
And
legal
I
name.
mean, I've seen fucking violent damage, like
Yeah.
not from TV, like in front of my
Yeah,
eyes,
yeah, yeah.
violent
Doing
kind of
Greece,
shit.
fucking
You know what I mean?
Molotovs. Looks
Yeah,
like Ghost Rider.
for sure,
guy.
Greece, but forget about Greece because it's a different culture. There, that is considered. Oh, it's normal. Well,
a
yeah,
peaceful
they're, ripping,
protest.
they're ripping off the sidewalk.
Yeah,
and
they
they're
break the
throwing it-
sidewalk and they throw it, yeah.
and you have the news. And another news today: a small protest broke out in central Athens.
Bro, I was
fire.
in
That's normal.
in 2007.
But over here,
In 2007, Francisco, like, this is during vacation.
I've been in
there was
it.
a protest, and I was just there. It's like there's people sitting 8 feet away, drinking coffee, looking, and then there's other people breaking stuff and throwing it. And it's like, yeah, this is normal. I was like, what the fuck?
I saw a video in Greece of this old man who got caught between the officers and the protesters, and he's hiding behind a bus stop, and he goes, "Oh fuck!"
Again,
Sparks
yeah.
a cigarette and starts smoking. And
what are they gonna do? Exactly. So forget about that because it's
Wait, did
different
we
culture.
address the super chat?
No,
I'm gonna
get
address
the-
it.
get-
let him
get the
address
su-
this. Let me
get the
address
super
this.
chat.
Blankers.
So Blankers,
Blankers.
he dropped $5 in the super chat. He
Was
goes,
he Australian?
the media doesn't hesitate to call normal people extremists and terrorists.
They don't.
They hit you while asking you why you're hitting yourself.
Yeah, dude, the media has to
That's pretty
take,
good.
but they have to take accountability for that. No matter who it is, they just paint whatever brush they want.
Yeah. So, but just get back to the protest. It wasn't violent at all, and I've seen violence, and it got like things that get really out of hand.
Yeah.
You know?
This was not that.
No, of course not. I mean, there were some incidences. Like I saw the clip with a horse ran over that lady.
Yeah, but that was the government committing violence.
I mean, I personally, and I'm expecting.
He's gonna make me mad.
No, I'm expecting all
A
you guys to
native
start
woman, by the
punching,
way.
but whatever it was, because the video that I saw, so there was this guy. So the horses are coming this way, and the guy turns around behind, and he's showing the crowd, and you see the lady, and then
The native woman, yeah,
the
the
lady that got
indigenous
trampled
lady. Yeah.
by the horses, whatever, and then somehow she ended up in the front,
Yeah.
like right, like what are you doing? Like, and I'm not saying
can I
maybe
answer- can I answer
maybe
your
she went to
question?
pet the horse. I don't know what the fuck she was doing
We
there.
watched the same fucking video. If you watch the video again,
Yeah.
you'll realize that as they were approaching, they right angle turned. All the horses turned, and they plowed into that crowd.
yeah, yeah.
They
I didn't
plowed
see-
a crowd.
because
Yeah.
the
They
way that I
plowed
saw
into a
it,
crowd.
was
that was the
filmed
fucking
behind.
battle of the bastards.
Yeah.
Like,
He was filming behind, and as you turn around, the horse is coming, and the lady from behind is right in the front. I'm like,
I should
how
start,
the fuck did
I
she
should
get
start
there?
a fucking YouTube channel where I break down how videos are misleading.
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
professional.
yeah,
Like,
'cause,
well, clearly, and I have like a big.
And this is an
fucking
indigenous
do that,
woman.
actually.
That's not
This
a bad
is an
idea. That's a good
indigenous
idea.
woman in a mobility scooter that
Yeah.
they said.
I didn't see the mobility scooter.
Oh, it was flown
didn't see it
away,
either,
and
to be
they said that
honest.
she threw it at them.
She threw her mobility scooter.
Yeah, but you know what?
Bro,
Well, you got a horse. I got a fucking chair. Let's go.
Take
You know how
ride
heavy
this
those things
pony.
are?
This indigenous older lady being trampled by the horses is a nice representation. Also, well, not nice. Sorry, is a very like I don't know how to explain this. I don't know what word to use, but like what the government has done to the native people, basically. Like
a nice analog.
yeah, like a nice yeah. There you go. Like
Yeah, it was. They've trampled her.
they've
Yeah.
basically that, but that's what they've done.
She's like,
And
I
then-
would like to be
and then they
free.
called her
The
a-
fuck you
and then
are.
They called her a terrorist.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
then they
they've
called
done
her.
to
They
the-
labeled her
I
there.
can't wait till the CBC makes their like.
Oh, by the way, she's not
45-minute
because there's a lot of
documentary about
misinformation. She did not die. She got out of the hospital.
No, yeah, she died.
Her big message after she got out was like, "Please don't trust Justin Trudeau." That was her message.
That was her message.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward.
And just to bounce off that, one of the guys that pushed that TV journalist because he came out on
He apologized too.
I apologize, yeah, but he's like, I'm sorry, but
Sorry,
you
you
had
made
a
me-
bodyguard. How come you didn't do anything?
That's kind of funny.
Like it was like all these sorry but kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he said that I was frustrated because there was a lady that died and the media is not showing it. It's like, dude, nobody died. You know, so
Did
again,
nobody die?
No, he was
Nobody
referring.
died.
He was
People,
referring,
many people have died, but not in
Not
this
in
case.
He was
direct correlation to this.
He was
yeah.
referring to this lady that was trampled by the horse, and someone
Yeah.
told him that she's dead. Oh,
Everybody,
look
a
at-
lot of people
yeah.
were saying she was dead because the way it looked, it was rough.
dead.
She was in the
Yeah, yeah,
hospital.
yeah.
Dude,
but she's
getting
not.
trampled by a horse.
Yeah,
Bro,
but
she
she's
should be
tough
alive.
as shit,
That's a
bro.
tough lady, by
That's
the
a tough
way.
lady, bro.
Fuck.
And I saw 2 or 3 people. It wasn't. She wasn't the only one. In
No,
that
she was
video, there
just
2 or 3.
she was
When you
just
see
the
the
most
footage, it's
comically
scary.
one. She was the funniest one out of all of them. Yeah,
I can't wait till the CBC makes. a
How cute are the
documentary about
horses
it.
with the visors, though?
yeah. They need a little long cigarette playing poker, dude.
Did he just fucking say that?
Yeah, they are cute with those
I didn't know
visors.
you hated animals.
Poor horses, though. They're like, what the fuck? What is going on here? Why are they mad?
Yeah. Do you have any sugar cubes?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the CBC documentary about what happened on the hill is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait. It's going to be like 45 minutes with a great title like Triumph der Hillen.
Can I ask you a question? Because all these fake, what's his name? Gilbo.
Didn't get that joke.
Remember that old terrorist that is part of Trudeau's cabinet right now?
Oh, the guy who climbed the building.
Stéphane Guilbeault.
Okay, him.
Not
Was
Stefan.
it? He was for Greenpeace, all that. How come he's not out there with his jumpsuit protesting
He's busy,
for
that's why he's writing
animal
bills
rights
C10.
with the horses?
He's
'Cause
taking care of Canada's environment.
Well, part of the environment is the horses, and they're putting them in the line of fire. They're in danger for what? Why do we have guys? It's
They're working.
2022.
They're working horses. That's their job.
Bro, it's 2022.
They're officers. They're officers of the law.
Yeah, but it's 2022, bro.
Yeah, that's a little.
It's 20. And another thing, you know how people say your dog can't be your kid or whatever? Really? But we're giving badges to horses. Are you all fucking stupid or something? Like, we're making the rules up as you. This is a general fucking sugar cube over here, and that's normal. But you're like, I gotta take care of this animal. What are you fucking retarded? Are you all crazy? Are you all nuts?
Bro, not even.
We live in a fucking. This is the Twilight Zone.
I was watching
Even
on
Afghanistan
Twitter.
sucks.
Officer McMuffin will handle that case. Like, what are you crazy?
I found a tweet from someone on Twitter, like a random
Yes,
person, basically
Jorge,
saying,
save the horses.
"Save the horses." Yeah.
Yes, I was about to address that.
Ride a cowboy. She was going on about how, like, oh, what? All of a sudden you guys are freaking out that the horses are in the crowds. Like, stop being crazy, you
Who said
fascists.
this?
Some random Twitter person, right? I'm reading this. I was like, something like called to me, like, go through her Twitter. Go through her Twitter. And she's from Montreal. And I found her saying this Kalesh thing is unacceptable 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We can't have the horses walking around downtown just for rides. I'm like, of course.
Dude, I know.
course.
Dude, I know a Greek.
You actually had the patience to scroll through her.
When
phone.
I have the call of the docs,
Bro,
I
I
don't
know
I
a Greek
go for
woman.
it.
I know a Greek woman who you don't call out because it's never gonna end, right? Because they're all phonies. I know a Greek
do you
woman
ever
who
just
you
write
could find
a
her
comment and stop?
Yeah, but you could find her tweets and her posts on Facebook. Literally, when he announced at the beginning of this, right now, a few months ago, that the schools were closed because they didn't know what's going on. Like, oh, you fucking idiot! Like, I have, my kids. Where am I gonna put? Where am I gonna put them? What am I gonna do with them? Complain the schools were closed. Then when it's like, all right, now it's safe, we're gonna open the schools. Look at this guy. Why open the schools? They're unsafe. This is the same fucking lady. And I was like, do I argue with this dumb bitch? And I was like, no, you can't
What is that
because
called? Cognitive dissonance. Is
yeah,
that what it is?
because clearly they're brainwashed. Like, this is imbecilic. So there's no logic. So there's nothing to gain from this argument. But so many people, dude, hypocritical shit that you know her.
I want you to tell me after.
I'll bounce off from
Stop
that.
bouncing off of stuff, bro. Make your own statements.
Because just to
Sounds like
change
you
it.
should have visited Ottawa, the bouncy castle.
Yeah.
God damn, Poseidon. Was it
He's
supposed to be a
trying.
line? What was that?
Trying.
So
You made him uncomfortable. I
With
want to
his
vomit.
weird
Yeah, just about the school thing, because the government of Quebec announced yesterday that the masks will be they're taking away the obligation of wearing a mask
about
for
time.
elementary school students,
Yeah.
but not in the main spaces, like just in class.
I mean, they've all had COVID at this point.
Yeah. So just to go back to what you're saying, because a lot of the parents were like, okay, fucking, my kids stop wearing a mask. I mean, they've been in school. It's been 2 years now. They've only been seeing half of the people's faces in schools, blah, blah,
It's
blah.
not just the faces. It also doesn't work the way they say
Yeah.
it works.
And now the government is taking them out. They're like, wait, I think we're moving too fast. Are we sure that this is the right move? And why are you taking them out in elementary school but not in high school or in
Can I give
CJ?
you a funny anecdote?
Guys, come on, man. Pick a side. Where do you want to be? And just
Go on the side of science. Take them off, you fucking idiots.
My daughter,
them off.
who's in kindergarten, technically doesn't have to wear a mask because of her age, right?
Yeah.
So at one point, though, they heavily recommended
Really?
it. They're like,
I wouldn't
because
have done it. I
the
would
only
not.
reason is because they kept getting shut down because there would be one case and no one's in a mask. So then public health would say, well, look, you got to shut the class down for 5 days. So they said, look.
And
basically-
what's the danger rate for kids when they get
zero.
COVID?
That's not the issue here. So they didn't force us. So a lot of the kids in her class started wearing the mask. And she goes, all my friends have masks. I was like, ooh, this is a slippery slope. I go, look. And I explained it to her as best I could to a 5-year-old.
Your friends are retards.
I would never. Your friend's parents are retards. So I go, listen, you can wear it if you want. I'll buy you some like cheap, cute masks, like whatever. If you want to wear them, but you don't have to. Then one day I realized she stopped wearing the masks we were giving her.
Good.
So I asked her, why don't you wear the mask anymore? She goes, well, next year, I think I'm going to have to. So I'm going to like just not wear it now because I have a choice. I was like,
She's so funny.
what an interesting thought process.
Really?
Like, I'm going to be forced, but now I don't have to. So fuck it. I'll just hold out.
They should not force these kids to wear masks. This is something that these kids should not even be concerned with COVID.
That's me bragging that my kid's smart, by the way.
Because scientifically, we have the data now that they're not in danger. This is a fucking, this whole come and go for them. So this is crazy what we're doing to these kids.
Some of these headlines are amazing, though. Woman loses 20 years of memories after catching COVID. I read the article. She also fell during COVID.
Yeah. There's so much bullshit, dude.
They're not even lying. It's in there.
The best is
She fell and opened her head up.
one of the people I know posted. She goes, "Look at this trucker. He's dying because of COVID, right? And he was protesting it, and he's dying because of COVID. No. And then you look, bro. The guy was the size of a hippopotamus, bro. He could barely breathe on his own. It's like, yeah, it's COVID. I got him. That was it. It wasn't the 47 comorbidities. Like, come on, guys. Fuck.
Look, all that to say though that things are honestly looking good. I mean, the numbers are dropping significantly, at least in Quebec. And I'm just looking forward to seeing some sort of normalcy, excluding all the crap. Sorry, I'm making noise here with my mic because it wasn't well screwed on.
Screw it.
Aside from all the crap that is happening from the federal government, which bothers me specifically because nothing that relates to this pandemic has anything really to do. Like a small percentage has to do with the federal government, and it just seems that we're giving so much attention. We're putting so much focus on what Justin Trudeau is doing when in fact he has very little to do with any of this.
Well, these emergency, until right now. Now he has all the power, yeah.
No, but the management of the pandemic I'm talking about, because everything is provincial jurisdiction.
Hold on a second. If it's provincial jurisdiction, then why did he invest billions and give it for these vaccine passports and shit like
provinces.
That? But that's a huge stake. You're a big stakeholder if you're funding.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the federal government's job to fund
because they're not going to fund a program that they don't agree with, or that they're not going to have checks and balances to make sure you use the money.
All of a sudden,
so let's not exaggerate.
The Emergency Measures Act pops up. All the provinces are saying it's cool. We're opening up. There's no more testing. We're gonna have a federal vaccine pass by the summer. Like, it's coming. That's what's happening. Like, I was so excited. I was like, oh, good.
But we have that. Isn't what do we have now? Isn't it a federal vax pass?
No, it's a provincial.
Yeah.
The reason that I heard a bunch of government officials were talking about it, some videos I found of them being questioned about it, was that a lot of places, when you travel with a provincial vax pass,
it's not recognized. Yeah.
So now they're saying we'll just make a federal one.
You know what this is for? This is one step ahead towards that goddamn centralized ID thing and the fucking social credit.
Let me ask you something, because you're going to Greece this summer.
We'll see, I guess. Apparently.
No, but yeah, okay, but
Greece said by September they're gonna go back to pre-COVID normals, and that's when I want to be there. September.
Well, September. He's going in the summer, so
I'm going in July. Yeah.
I'm going in September. So I can watch a game.
It's a construction holidays.
What is the criteria to get into Greece?
I have to do a rapid test before I board.
No third vaccine.
So far, no. The boosters have not been mandated really anywhere yet.
Because there's talk now about a fourth shot here in Canada.
There's always going to be talk of another shot.
Yeah, I'm not taking any more shots.
But Israel did the fourth shot, and they showed terrible fucking results.
Yeah, nobody died from it. The people that are the most boosted in Israel are the ones that have the highest rate of catching COVID.
The rates come down, but I'm just...
Yeah, no, what do you mean not anymore? This was 3 days ago.
I read it like 2 weeks ago, and
3 days ago.
Still at the high rates.
Yeah, it's the ones that are the most. And now they're saying there's something a new thing. Well, it's not new. We discussed this, but we were idiots. We didn't know what we were talking about. There's there's something that I forgot the acronym. But basically, there's a dependency now. There's immune systems that now they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're becoming dependent on these fucking boosters. Yeah, so it's. We fucked everything up. Same thing with not the V. Same thing with natural immunity. Natural immunity, and I tweeted this morning because they had articles from 2 years ago. Anti-vaxxers, conspiracy theorists are talking about a thing called natural immunity. Like as if it was something crazy. Yeah, and then now this morning comes out, actually studies have shown that natural immunity is actually stronger and better, and we should focus on that because it's actually working better.
You know what gives me hope?
And people all bought into that. People are like, natural immunity, that's some crazy shit. Vitamins, that's absurd. That's conspiracy hippie shit.
I mean, the elderberries is a crazy theory. That one's...
I don't know what elderberries is.
People are like, you just take elderberries when you have COVID and you'll be fine.
I don't know what that is.
Elderberries?
Some kind of fucking
berry,
the vitamin
We already know now that actually a huge percentage of the people that died
vitamin D deficient.
and that had severe problems had a lot of underlying causes, but one of them that was common with a lot of them in the modern world when they tested, vitamin D deficiency. So especially in places like this where we don't have a lot of sun, make sure you take your fucking supplements. Try to stay healthy.
Everyone needs the D. Everyone. Even George.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was saying, though.
Something about almonds or some shit.
Before the elderberries. We were having conversations.
You mean almonds?
No, I was just saying how natural immunity, they were making it seem like it was some kind of conspiracy theory. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I remember.
It's crazy.
That thing you sent the other day of Bill Gates saying, sadly...
Yeah, bro.
So wait.
That was the
You know what's
weirdest
crazy?
thing.
That video, it brought up a lot of feelings. But one thing that it brought that I was surprised about was hope. Because he's basically admitting, yeah, this is done.
No, because if you watch till the end, he's talking about now we want to prepare for the next one, and there's going to be one soon. Because basically, the video that I shared
We'll
with
get
Phil
downtime between.
that made me angry was Bill Gates. They're asking him like, "What do you think of this rollout of the
Vaccines.
shots and the vaccines?" And he said that he wanted it more hardcore, but sadly, the Omicron variant, because it was weak and it was spreading so fast and it was giving people better immunity. Sadly, more people were surviving and they were getting through this. So we don't need to push the vaccines. How a guy like that, who is, even if he was a scientist, but to go out and publicly say, sadly, people aren't dying, so I can't justify
And I
this.
played devil's advocate-
And people
advocate
are
for a second.
okay. People are like, yeah, that makes fucking sense.
It's a
you
weird
guys are
choice of
fucking
words.
idiots. You guys are fucking. It's
a
not the
weird
first time he
fucking
said
choice of
this.
words.
It's not the first time he says shit like this.
Yeah, but for me, like, I get what you're saying.
And he's
I
not a
felt
scientist.
that too.
He's some dude with money.
He's a garage entrepreneur. I know.
Yeah. He's not a because he.
I mean, he's a software engineer. He's not.
No, he's
even-
not. He's not. He's a money
he's a
guy. He stole
self-taught.
ideas from Steve Jobs. Then
Steve Jobs stole ideas from other people too.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying he's not. But he's not a scientist. He's not a
I
virologist.
thought
He's
he
none
was
of
a
that.
coder when he started out. Like that's how he started Microsoft, writing code. No,
What?
or he always had someone writing code for him.
I think he wrote some stuff, but he
not
was
even a nerd. He
He's
just
not
looks
even a
nerdy.
nerd. Yeah, he's not even like a top nerd. He's not like an Elon Musk autiste. He's none of that shit. Or Steve Jobs was a huge visionary. He was a prick, but he was a huge visionary.
was
He's
a
none of that.
visionary, yeah.
He's none of that. Anyways, the point is saying shit like that. If I was a parent, like you're a parent, I would lose. I'd be like, what the fuck did you say, motherfucker? Sadly, are you crazy? No, I'm very happy that my kids don't have to fucking die. You piece of shit.
Seems like a good outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It feels like because I'll admit I always feel like the Earth itself, if it was sentient, hates us because we're not doing real good.
No, we're parasites.
We're parasites. But this time it was like, look, I hate you guys, but this is intense. I'm gonna give you this variant.
But it was us. That's what happened. Oh, the other thing that I read yesterday, we may have fucked ourselves by the rush that we took getting the rollout of this because of the danger rate that it was. It did not warrant our reaction globally, but we did.
Shutdowns, yeah.
And the thing is now it's something that we had said 2 years ago that we thought might happen, and that's what they're saying now. It does force your system, it forces the virus to mutate to better get around certain things. We didn't let it die out, get light, and then attack it. Because we did it in the early stages, there's more chances of stronger variants coming out because they're trying to evade vaccines. There's all kinds of, I'm just saying.
I don't know if that's, I don't know how verifiable that is because I don't
What do you
really
mean?
know that much about viruses.
This would.
Yeah, I'm
what
just saying.
virologists are saying.
It's an interesting.
I mean, I just find it crazy how we've reached the point. See, I asked you about traveling and the criteria.
What did you want to ask me by the way?
Yeah,
No,
what's up?
no. The point I was trying to make is that we've reached the point where we're all kind of scared and kind of second guessing ourselves. Like, should I travel? Like, I want to travel now.
I'm past that
But
now.
then I'm like,
the only
and
thing
I'm
that
like,
scares
oh,
me is
well,
I don't
what
want to
if
lose my tickets anymore.
That's the
That
thing.
scares me.
Like, what if I buy tickets and then to go anywhere you have to have a third vaccine, or the kids need to be vaccinated and I don't want to do it, or you don't have time, or
My
Well,
only
look, like,
concern is
we're
if I'm
just in
out
this-
and in those 3 weeks they change something and coming in becomes
Yeah,
a
look,
problem.
Greece said for you.
that honestly, I don't give a shit. I'll stay where I am.
Yeah,
me too.
by
I'm
end of summer,
staying in Greece.
you won't even need that because they're going back to because of the statistics.
No, it's returning to Canada that scares me.
Well,
'cause I don't
you're
know
a
what
Canadian
true-
citizen. They can't stop you. You could come to Canada on an expired passport because you're a citizen.
That's true. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So then I'm covered.
Yeah, they're not going to stop you. And like I said, the measures now are being pulled back. The next wave isn't shots and stuff, guys. You got to move past that.
Yeah, that's all done.
Yeah, that's all done now because
I
of.
don't think it's done yet.
Well, look, unless you're old and you need it, and you should, because some people
Well,
it'll
because
help
he's
them.
right. Notice how the government hasn't been busting our chops to get vaccinated.
Yeah,
Remember,
no,
every day, get
but-
your
I
vaccine.
know.
Get
But-
your vaccine.
but you
Get
know
it.
what's
it's
next?
important. Nobody's mentioning that.
Do you know
anymore.
what's next now with domestic terror and health, and we want to trace? The next thing now is social credit. The next thing is the ID, the digital
Centralized
ID,
that's linked to
centralized
every
ID.
piece of your
Yeah.
being.
Here's the thing, man. Because if you think of it, everyone already has all these things on their phone anyway. Like everyone has like a
That's
digital
how they're going to get away with it.
wallet
They're
and
going to
all
say
that
it's just for
stuff.
convenience.
But it's not centralized.
It isn't centralized,
No.
but that's the thing. I mean, I think that the longer we just wait and you just plant seeds, every
Yeah.
month, every 2 months, 3 months, eventually it's gonna come to a point where now we think it's normal, bro. You have your stuff
That's
on
what
your
they're
phone.
doing.
anyway.
That's what they're doing.
It's a war of attrition.
Yeah, they're normalizing it.
I don't have it. I don't even know how. I don't trust anything. Like I worry because I buy stuff on Amazon from my phone,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh shit,
cute.
my card is out there. But there's literally, and I was at my
Your
friend's
card is
house.
the
Yeah, no,
least
he's
of your
like me with the credit cards. Me too. I freak
I
out.
freak out. 'cause
I run everything through PayPal.
I have PayPal too.
Run it through PayPal. It's safer. PayPal is there to protect you.
Yeah, but PayPal does it through my credit card, whatever. I don't know how these things work, so I panic, and then I was
She's
over.
like an old guy on the internet.
Yeah, man.
amazing.
So I was over
I
my
like
friend's
them.
house. I was over my friend's house last weekend, and we were talking about this. And he's like, "George, why are you panicking, man?" He goes, "Look, everyone already has it." And he whips out this thing, and he has debit cards, credit cards, points cards. I'm like, "What the fuck is that, bro?" Yeah.
Oh, what is that?
my Interact, my
Yeah, I don't do
Visa,
that.
I
and
don't
because
like
I have a lot of friends that
and
do that. I
I
don't
pulled
do it.
this up too, which was
No,
my
no.
Max Pass because I was getting annoyed looking for it all the time.
I took a screenshot of the QR code.
No, I have the app, so whatever.
I deleted
Comes
the
from
app.
the app that. But so the thing with the centralized ID, we watched the video 2 weeks ago from may he rest in peace, Panussi, Jimmy Panussi.
Yeah, James.
James Odzimis Panussis. He's a Greek. How would you categorize for people who don't know Panussi? He was a Renaissance man. He did everything.
Yeah.
He was also like a crazy communist, which is important for this story.
Yeah.
He had put out a sketch, an audio sketch from one of his like radio shows that he had done,
Yeah.
where someone orders Pizza Hut, and they order like an. First of all, they don't even say their name, and the Pizza Hut operator has all their information.
All their information, so-
date of birth, phone number.
Yeah,
social
long
circumstance.
story short, it's like you call in. It's like how Amazon has your stuff already saved.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'd like this pizza. They go, well, we can't give you this type of pizza because of your cholesterol.
Because you have cholesterol level we see from your centralized health file. This is from 14 years ago.
This from 40 years ago. Now, fast forward to today.
fuck.
Me and him were having a conversation about this on Sunday,
funny
and we
though.
didn't think about this until I saw Rogan's guest right after. And I'm like, holy shit, I didn't even think about that.
Centralized bank,
Yeah, I didn't think about that application. So my biggest fear was easily freezing your accounts, and also the social credit system that we're moving towards, China, obviously, blocking you from, like, let's say you can't move to a certain neighborhood because
buying
your class, or
airline tickets.
and basically creating more subclasses or buying plane tickets. I didn't.
For context, in China, they don't need any other forms of technology to implement that because everything is state-owned.
Yeah.
So they don't need to communicate with third parties.
So I didn't think about this other application which he mentioned, and I was like, oh my god, that is terrifying. Because he goes to me, he goes, well, right now,
Programmable money.
even if, because programmable
What,
money,
sorry?
is
Programmable money.
programmable money, because that's what they're moving towards now. They're trying to have a centralized
like a
version
bank,
of,
no, centralized central bank digital currency.
That's right,
not
okay.
and
backed by a
everyone's
fiat
on the
currency.
same wavelength in the country. So let's say, for example, this is the scary part. You work for me. Let's say I have a corporation. We build stuff here, and you're one of my builders. I could pay you $1 million a year. It doesn't matter how much I pay you, because as your employer, I can decide, and the government could do the same thing, your money, what you can spend it on. So for example, I know that I need you to be efficient. Listen to me. I need you to be efficient, right?
Can
so
the employer have this power?
your employer
too?
has this power
Yeah.
too.
I
Yeah.
thought it was a government.
No, no, it's both.
I can't have you smoking weed.
Exactly.
So you cannot buy.
You can never
go to
purchase
the
it.
weed store,
And
or
so as your employer, I could say I don't want you to even be allowed to purchase. So even though you could be a multimillionaire, you're technically not a multimillionaire because you can only buy. Now here's where it gets tricky.
Necessities.
So let's say your employer already blocks certain things. I don't want you to be unhealthy. You can't buy burgers. You can't buy bread. Whatever. At the same time, the government decides, you know what else? I don't want you to buy. You talk a lot of shit. I don't want you to buy plane tickets. You can't go on that show to talk about it. I don't want you to have access to this. I don't
You're
want
not
you
allowed to buy podcast
you can't have podcasts. Your internet. What did you say online? Okay, well, right now
internet.
you can't have internet because all we have to do is we don't have to do anything to the infrastructure.
Do you
You
guys
can't
think- okay,
pay
let-
for your internet for the next 6 months.
hypothetically speaking, now, say this happens tomorrow,
Yeah.
okay, and people realize this is bullshit.
Even worse.
Are we gonna come full circle and say, you know what, fuck it, take cash, give me the shit?
Not if
Cash
the
won't
government
exist.
gets rid of cash.
Yeah,
Cash won't exist.
They're slowly pulling it away and they're
Look,
using
right
different
now
excuses.
they're testing the central bank digital currencies in the Caribbean states, countries. They've been testing something called Dcash. Dcash had a massive outage, and
This is interesting.
I mean the crypto sphere, because now I'm in it because of this project I'm working on, and I've been doing a lot of research. Everyone's saying this is a real test for these centralized bank infrastructures because they don't run on the blockchain really. They're centralized. They're not decentralized. So these are the kinds of things we'll need to address. It's been in and out for months. The
Let's do
theory
this.
is that it's not actually glitched.
But listen to this.
that
Listen to what happened with the glitch.
The people who are testing it, the governments, some faction of these
Just
governments,
testing the limits.
are just testing the limits of what happens when you take away the cash.
Yeah, but listen
Because
to what
people
happened.
transferred a lot of money into this from their regular local currency, and when it came back online, your 100 Dcash was now 40.
And they're like, what happened to the rest of the money? Like, I don't know. It just shut down. We don't know what happened.
It's the internet, it's weird.
Yeah, dude, you don't understand,
No,
George.
it's possible that it is a glitch. It is.
Okay, let's say it
But-
is a
but
glitch,
still.
but forget, they don't even do that anymore because this is and I can't believe it never occurred to me until this guy said it. He's like, you don't know what they're doing. It didn't click in my head that they don't need to block, they don't need to freeze your accounts because they just decide what you can spend your stuff on. So you talk a lot of shit. I don't need to put you in jail. I don't need to do anything. You're not allowed to buy podcasts. You can't even pay for internet.
Suddenly, the voice of my dad is kind of ringing in my
Yeah.
ears. It was like, put some money in a safe
Yeah.
or wrap
what
it
you
up.
should
Wrap
have
it
done
up.
But it
Wrap
won't even.
It won't even be valued.
No,
That's the
it's
crazy
not
thing.
valuable. It won't even
They're
be
gonna
valuable. You won't
fuck
even be able
us,
to
dude.
spend it.
They're gonna because people are so
My golden hide it.
people have been
All the
getting
Ziplocs I have in
crushed.
my freezer.
People have been getting crushed so much that they're willing to accept anything because they keep telling them we're gonna get just like they did with the 2 doses, 3 doses. You're gonna get out of this. They keep moving the goalpost.
We went
so
from,
people are like,
let's
okay,
get back to
one more
normal.
thing, one more thing, and normal is never gonna come back.
But you're only half right, because not only are they doing the one more thing, but all the things that they're adding to our lives that will help get us towards this Black Mirror dystopian future,
yes.
they all come with a little tiny bit of convenience. Like it's nice to be able to transfer digital currency quickly. It's nice to have everything on my phone. I don't need to carry anything.
Yeah.
It's nice that like AI
It's nice to be able
helps
to
me find stuff.
It's nice to be able to rate someone, your neighbor. You're like,
When
you know
you're
what?
angry.
Fuck Steve. Yeah, it's nice to
Fuck
be able
Steve.
to rate
Steve's
him.
a
yeah.
shit neighbor. 1
Yeah.
star. There's a great Black Mirror episode about
I'm telling
exactly
you,
this.
this is what we're heading towards is very fucked up.
Super dark.
Also,
It's scary shit, man. Because look,
Even
he was Phil was telling right now before we went live. I was in his office. He was telling me, he was going over some calls that he had with.
I'm trying to hire a.
And by the way,
freelancer.
Bitcoin, because
Special
people keep saying, put your money in Bitcoin. The thing that they're not realizing is Bitcoin doesn't mean the future either, because what you have to understand is the only way Bitcoin has value, the only way anything has value
is if you're willing, to, if you're able to use
if
it.
you're able to use it, if there's trade. If for one reason or another, Bitcoin, cash, anything is no longer usable, you can't purchase anything,
Yeah.
it becomes worth zero.
Yeah, but it's the market that decides. How
That's
can the
what I'm saying.
government?
The
How can the
government can
government come in and
influence it
say
slightly.
you cannot waste this type of money?
I'll tell you
there?
right now. So right
you
now-
have a business. You're like, you know,
Yeah.
what, fuck you, man. I'll take whatever.
Yeah,
money you
but
have.
I'll explain to you right now. So let's say cash, right?
I'm getting
let's say
paid
the
in
government.
crypto for more
Hold on.
times
Let's say
now.
right now the government. I'm going to explain to you with cash. Let's say the government now decides, just like they did in Greece with the drachma. The drachma, they gave you a timeline of when it's getting outed and when the euros come in. The second that timeline passed, you went to the bank. They're like, yeah, there's nothing you can do with this. This is paper. This is useless. Same thing now. If the government decides, look, we're going full digital, you have X amount of time to put in your mattress money. Now, even if you go to a store and you're like, look, I'm going to pay a $10 bill. The guy's like, I can't use that, bro, because I can't put in that's useless to me,
Yeah.
the $10 bill. It's done. If that's people aren't thinking. If the market is no longer allowed to use this stuff, they're no longer of substance. Like cassette tapes now. If you don't have a VCR, cassette tapes are fucking useless.
They are.
They have the same movies that they had on DVD. But if
But at the same
Not
time,
entirely. You
the
could
the
crack
whole
somebody over the
crypto, because there's more than one cryptocurrency, right? And they all have
talking
specific
about a
use
4-year-old.
cases. They have their own inbuilt economies. The only way the government could ever stop them from being usable is by actually outlawing them, which I don't think they'll do.
they won't have to.
I
It's
don't
like,
think they don't
it's like
need
what they're
to.
doing now. They won't have to. Just like how they're gonna be like, we can't put everyone in jail, but we could is this fucking voucher system. Look, your company that you work for
Yeah,
doesn't want you
but-
being on X websites, so you can't be on those sites. Doesn't want you buying hot dogs. Doesn't and then the government. The worst thing is the quotas. Guys, there's a food shortage. George, you already filled out your milk quota.
And you're a fatty.
Yeah, no, but you already filled out your milk quota. I know your kids want some milk, but fuck you, you bought enough milk for the month. You can't get any more.
It's ridiculous to think that we're going to be living in a society like this. I think
That's what China's
No, he's
doing.
upset. He's just upset.
Oh, you should be upset. But bro, this is your buddy in Parliament who's pushing shit like this. This is your buddy, the WEF puppet,
what?
the fucking WEF puppet. Fucking
WEF,
yeah.
No, but it's
a
crazy.
foreign entity that's deciding for us what the future needs to be, not our own people.
It's crazy because maybe I don't think I'm that much older. Fuck. I mean, it's not about an age thing.
Right,
It's
like
just
50
that.
now.
It's just that it's ridiculous to think that we're there, right?
Yeah.
And he was telling me about some calls that he had with potential employees, and they were asking him questions. I was like,
Yeah.
"What? Who? What?
Can I
What?"
tell you what people ask me?
Sorry,
this
before you
Ask
say
us.
something, just so we can, set everything up. When I was looking for a job when I was 14 years
Yes,
old,
boss.
by the
Thank you,
way,
boss.
I had prepared this ridiculous looking CV, which I couldn't print because we didn't have a computer. So I had to
Same,
go to
yeah.
the dépanneur or
Yeah,
wherever,
yeah,
some
yeah.
store so I can type it out. Or I went to one friend that had a computer out of the 50, and it looked like shit. And I had printed like 50 copies.
You
of
have your
it. And-
hobbies?
Yeah, and I was going literally door to door to restaurants. I'm like, "Hi, are you looking
Yeah.
for a job?"
Yeah,
Here."
same.
You know what I
Same.
mean? That's
Yeah.
that's how we did it back then, and we were like, "What do you want? And how can I?"
I'll do it.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll do
well, Can I do this? You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
versus what
Today.
we have today.
I'm on the call. I'm on a call with. I put out I just need a couple hours a month. Someone to help me on a project, right? Social media stuff. So I pick a few from the list. I got like 40 applicants. 30 were useless because it's a local position, and they were like MD Iqbal, who lives in India and outsources to like 40 people. Like, I
tried.
need someone here. He tried. They come on strong, those Indian guys. Yeah. I can supersize your business.
Dude, I mean, they're
hustlers.
Yeah, one
But
time
they're
they
not the
almost
right-
convinced me to send him pictures of my boobs and vagina.
Anyway,
Show me your posse. So anyways, like I went through the list and I found a bunch of people who were qualified and who were local or at least near. And one of them, I'm on the phone with them, and out of the blue, she just goes, "Is this job like focused for equal opportunities for employment?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" I go, "What's your question?"
I'm interviewing you.
Like for POCs and LGBTQ plus members. I'm like, are you one of those? Like, I don't understand. I knew she was a person of color because of her name and her picture. Like, doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I'm interviewing you.
I don't care if what her sexual orientation is. I was like, I don't understand your question. She was, I just want to know. I'm like, are you a person of color? She's like, yes. I go, are we not on the phone having a conversation because you're qualified?
Yeah.
Yes. I go, then what's your question? She goes, no, I'm just asking. I go,
But what are you asking?
But what are you asking? She goes, I don't understand your question. I'm like, what is your question?
isn't it crazy?
You're already in the interview. It's
about-
like me
what
doing
about
an
the
interview.
other
Be like,
one
let me
with,
ask you a question.
Another one?
Would you? It's like me being interviewed by Rogan and asking him during the podcast. Let me ask you, bro. Would you ever interview me on your podcast?
What are you asking me right now?
You're here, bro. Yeah, I know. I don't. But would you ever interview on this? Would
But
you
what's
ever
your
have me on this
question?
podcast?
What's your question? I'm
Yeah.
just asking, bro.
Yeah, it's fucking absurd.
Then
look at the other one. Look at the other one.
I'm talking another one, young, like 21 years old. And all of a sudden, I go, you know what? Write me up a little sample, like 10, 15 words. I just want to see your level of like English, because they were not native English speakers. She's like, okay, what are your pronouns? I'm like, you mean my email? Like, no, your pronouns. I'm like, what about my pronouns? What are they? For what? She goes, for the email. I'm like, I go, what? She goes,
Fuck/you. That's
they're
my
not
pronouns.
in your LinkedIn profile. I'm like, what?
Why would they be?
What do you think they are? It's like, he, him, but I don't want to assume. I'm like,
Assume away, lady.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how is that a
it's
question?
Serious. It's serious. I don't
Look,
understand how we've gotten
unless
here.
you're looking at me and I look like that guy from the GameStop, that chick from the GameStop
Yeah.
who broke everything, the macho
Yeah,
man.
you assume.
Like, it's safe to assume that if I look like the standard, I'm still abiding by the standard rules of society. You don't need to ask. Like, stop showing me how woke you are. I don't
Yeah,
give a
I don't
Can you
shit.
understand? Like, okay, maybe this is normal and I'm just completely disconnected, but it's weird to me.
Let me tell you, her
No,
pronouns
it's not normal,
now,
George.
after that conversation, her pronouns are denied. Like,
Denied.
She's done.
So I just find it strange that we've come to a point where before anything happens, you have like this checklist of things that you need to check out. Okay, Pantelis. Okay, he, she, it, they. Okay, what are you? Okay, good, thank you. Do you support equal opportunity for persons of color? Okay, check.
Not a chance.
And
Look,
then
if
like
a recruit-
it feels that before you actually open the door to socializing, you need to make sure that okay, we're on the same wavelength. What the fuck's wrong with our society?
Yeah.
Gen Z is a different fucking generation of employees.
I
telling
don't
you.
care. I
Very
will have
different.
every POC in here. What I will not allow is a POS, a piece of shit. I don't want any of these pieces of shits around here. That's it. That's my criteria. One got through. One got through. Yeah.
Jokes on you.
What did you say?
Jokes on you.
Yeah, say, piece of shit right here.
I'm a
Dude,
real
this is-
piece of shit. Real
Yeah, everyone's-
head breaks, bro. Yeah, have fun. Go in the bathroom.
Yeah, but so anyway, so just to come full circle back to this convoy thing, because we spoke about this on the message. These quote unquote leaders or organizers or whatever, they've been arrested. They're detained, and
This is some bullshit. That lady, they want to.
Tamara Lich and there's like four. I don't know what their names are. So they're denied bail because the judge believes that they're not convinced that they're not going to go back into like organizing or.
But they're allowed to organize protests. It's Canada.
But hold on.
They're allowed to organize protests. We're in Canada. This is crazy, George. It's Canada. You're allowed. If we were Cuba, I would understand. Gulags. Russia. But it's Canada. They're allowed to organize as many fucking... They can make a career of just organizing protests.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
We can't allow this to happen. Look, whether you agree with it or not, it has nothing to do with that. You have to understand that this is bad for everyone. This is bad for you because today you don't agree with that protest. Tomorrow you're going to want to protest something else. Tomorrow you're going to want to protest fucking fish oils. Doesn't matter. You should have the right to protest that as long as it's not violent. You're not killing people. Yeah. You should be allowed to protest. This is crazy, George. Am I nuts? You could tell me if I'm fucking wrong.
Look, I mean, I'm not a lawyer and I didn't go through the details of what exactly
Okay,
the
you
charges
as
are.
a Canadian citizen, how you feel about you might organize another protest? How you feel about that? About people being put in jail because they might organize a protest in a democratic, a free country that you should be allowed to organize protests.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Again, I don't know what the what the charges are and what they're afraid of exactly of being reproduced if in case she goes back out and organizes.
She's
whatever.
allowed though.
So there's the thing. So look, it'll be interesting to see if obviously this is gonna lead to a case where there's gonna be some sort of argument from their lawyers to probably challenge the to bring forth our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I'm curious to see how that develops in contrast of what they're being.
Well, the charter doesn't
with.
exist anymore. We lost the charter 2 years ago, bro. We keep saying we have a Charter of Rights and Freedoms until we don't.
Well, I mean,
every 3 days there's a new reason why it doesn't apply. So
even though our boy Justin Trudeau says that these Measures Act will not supersede the rights, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, right? So
it already did.
And they've been the emergency.
I love how it says it won't supersede. Well, the freezing of accounts, all that, it supersedes it. Yeah, except for the stuff that it supersedes.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude, this is ridiculous. You have to be you know what? You don't even have to be a shill. You honestly have to have a very low IQ to think this is normal.
And I was so shocked. I shouldn't say shocked because I mean, really in politics, I mean, nothing really surprises me anymore. But in the beginning when they were talking about invoking the Emergency Measures Act, and everybody was talking about how this process works now, and there's going to be a debate, and then we all knew that the NDP had shown interest in voting in favor, but up until Monday night, where they actually voted, Jagmeet Singh kept saying that, listen, there's conditions. We're going to wait and see what happens, and then, so basically that was to suggest that if everything, happens and there's no more demonstrations and there's no need for us to invoke that, then no, I'm not going to vote in favor. For what?
He's full of shit.
And it just boggles my mind. I mean, there is no more demonstration. What are you talking about now? I mean, it was clear. The way it was done, could be argued, but what are you invoking this for? So for me, forget about the liberals that invoked it. Okay, we know where they stand, and we know that everyone is kind of whipped in line with what Justin Trudeau wants.
But what about the NDP?
But the NDP, dude, it's like the socialist party in Canada. Like you said before, it's the party of fucking Jack Layton and all these big.
I've been ever since the vote happened, I've been avoiding having an awkward conversation with a friend.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how she voted for
Yeah,
that.
she voted in favor.
Oh, you're talking about the lady that I called out?
I don't want to name anyone.
I'm calling everyone out. I am disappointed with all you people.
but
democratically
public,
elected officials. Democratically elected officials
I
who
need to know
voted
why.
against democracy. You hate your constituents. You are disgusted by them. And you know what? I, in turn, am disgusted with you dirty sons of bitches.
At some point, people probably start wondering, okay, we understand that we sent you there to make decisions on our behalf, right?
So do stuff that we want you to do.
But not only that, I mean, okay, can we get like some sort of opinion in there? Can you consult with us? Like, I mean, how are you voting in favor without really knowing what your constituents want? I mean, does that yes that you vote represent the majority of the people that elected you there? That to me was always mysterious. I remember in Quebec when this whole issue on euthanasia came. You remember that le droit de mourir dans la dignité, which was a huge bill, and all parties.
Huge debate.
It was a huge debate, and all parties said that look, we're not going to vote based on a party line. The MNAs in the National Assembly will be able to vote based on their own conscience, which is a huge thing because it happens very rarely that actually happens where you have members of a party voting differently. And I remember we were consulting different groups in the area, despite what the member of parliament believed deep down and his personal beliefs.
What did the constituency want?
Yeah, so we consulted with different guys. What do you think about this? So we saw religious groups, we saw community groups, we saw like all these things, and we spoke to them. What do you guys think about this? How do you feel and all that stuff? So,
That's the problem when government gets too inflated and it becomes too centralized. You have too many levels, and the representatives represent way too many people to able to like.
No, if they represented too many people, that'd be amazing. They represent no one. They represent themselves. That's the problem.
No, I mean the people they theoretically represent. Like it's a complex procedure for like a federal MP to speak to their constituents. Like it's a lot of people.
No, now the way they
They're
did
quite
it here.
big, the writings.
No, the writings are. It's not like it's all of Quebec. Like let's say like Emmanuel Lambropoulos or whatever. She has one fucking neighborhood. This like you could have, but none of them cared. They all just put their fucking head down and said, "Okay, fuck these people." And by these people, I mean Canadians. Because forget who the rules are being applied to now. You might not like the truckers. So you're like, yeah, fuck them. I don't care what happens. Whoever. That does not need to just remain something that will be applied to the truckers. That can be applied to your cause tomorrow if your cause is against the government. They'll come for you next. That's what people don't see. That's why freedom of speech, I keep telling people, is so important. Not so that I could say what I want to say, so you could say what you want to say too. Because if I decide you don't have any more freedom of speech, what's to stop tomorrow from you stopping me or someone else stopping me?
I'm discouraged. That's what it is. I feel like it doesn't matter anymore because we've picked up too much momentum. The ball is it's past the tipping point. Like there's nothing that can stop whatever's coming. Not sure exactly what is coming. I have theories.
You can see what's coming.
But I don't think there's anything of us can do because there's not enough people who think this is suspiciously odd. There's a lot of short-sighted people, and I'll go back to that thing Schultz said about TikTok, how TikTok is social programming.
Yeah, it is.
By a foreign nation. I mean, maybe that's true, maybe that's not. It seems very plausible.
But it is true considering that...
But if you look at the generation that is
the algorithm promotes,
the one we're leaving behind...
Yeah. The algorithm promotes different stuff in different countries.
Yeah.
See, what worries me the most, and I think I've said in other episodes as well, is that, okay, we have one position now that the Trudeau government has adopted. Ideally, we're going to have an election within the next 2 years in Canada. What is going to be the flip side of what we've experienced now? And is that going to be, the extreme opposite? Because that either is something, that's also something that I don't...
We have to get back to the middle.
You know what I mean? Exactly. And we've seen it, right? I mean, it's not new. I mean, you have one side doing thing, and then to counter that, you're going to have to go to the complete other extreme. And this is the whole debate now with Pierre Poilievre and where exactly does he stand? And a lot of people in the Conservative Party wanting to bring the party back in the center, but you have the more, that more, right-wing fringe of the party that all they care about is winning the next election. So fuck that shit. Let's just do it, No,
I like Poilievre. I like
but I mean, at some point, the pendulum just has to stop swinging and to find that
It can't stop swinging.
Middle.
Do you know why it can't stop swinging?
It can't stop swinging, Pantelis, because the minute that you're always going to be bringing the opposite extreme to counter whatever we have now, it's always going to be going back and forth like that.
Well,
right?
look, you have a guy that you knew. He's elected. He's prime minister, Justin Trudeau. Did he need to go extreme communism right now with this shit? Did he? Tell me. Because the pendulum was already swinging left. He pulled it back all the way. So now when this thing goes the other way, which eventually it will, that's how people are, it's going to go back even harder. So the only person you have to blame right now is him.
Yeah, but I blame him. Let me just play devil's advocate here, especially if I'll adopt the line of a lot of the strategists that are behind all these things, because I'm convinced it's not Justin Trudeau that woke up one morning and said this is what we're doing. There's people behind him that are facilitating him and advising him on all these decisions,
which makes it scarier. But go on.
It does make it a little bit scarier, but they are looking at different polls and they have their ear to the ground. And I was looking at Ipsos and the other polling house. I can't remember which one it was there. And there's a huge part of the Canadian population that is in favor of everything happening. So
I don't even know about that, by the way. These polls always come out. Yeah, we talk about this. This is weird. I've never been contacted for any of these polls. I'm a Canadian
feels like they just put out a poll with whatever results they want. And that way
I remember during the election in the States, like 98% Hillary Clinton. I remember all these fucking weird ass polls. Like there's a lot of bullshit.
So you put out a poll that makes people who disagree with the outcome you don't want.
If you answer a poll, almost 100% of the people who actually sit there and answer a poll are the type of people that have nothing else to do. And they're like, yeah, fucking shut everything down, freeze everyone's account.
It's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that, because when I was working in politics, and they had those daily questions that TVA or RDI used to say, like, what do you think? Go on our site and vote, kind of thing. Yeah. And almost instantly, you had the party kind of sending out a message like, okay, go vote, go vote.
Yeah, it's all bullshit, bro.
So you had everyone going to vote in favor.
Yeah, because what it does is
it was so partisan.
It secludes your opponent, makes them feel like, oh, no one agrees with me. Maybe
I'm exactly. It's all nonsense. No, I don't fall for any of that shit anymore.
Then you can use those numbers to say, look, it's only a small fringe minority.
Yeah, I don't fall for any of that shit anymore. I'm on the side of democracy and freedom of speech, people's ability to work and provide for their families. And these past few years, we've eliminated a lot of that stuff. We've eliminated a lot of rights. We've eliminated a lot of people's abilities to work and provide for their families. We made them dependent on the state. People are mad. People are upset. And then now, when we had a leader who for months is saying, for years, we have to follow the science, went against the science a few months ago. And in order to gaslight people, he was saying, while he was going against the science, we're just following the science. And then more and more people.
How incredible is that?
More and more people were getting upset. They're like,
When
did
you're-
he just say that we're following the fucking science when he's going against the fucking... And people were getting more and more gaslit, more and more angry. He was trying to make them all feel crazy.
And it's like your own national health director is advancing different arguments, right? I mean, it's such a
But
weird...
I'll tell you one thing, it does work because I've seen tweets of people back and forth through stories, back and forth of we have to support Trudeau's right, follow the science, we need these mandates. And the following story is World Health Organization says X thing, which is the opposite of Trudeau. And they agree with both things. And they're both opposite things. Dude, people are fucking, it's like they're made to be sheep. I don't understand what the fuck's wrong with people. No critical thinking.
I don't know. It's
upsetting.
Well,
You
I'll
look
go
at this
back
and you're like, school taught us nothing. They didn't teach you critical thinking. They didn't have you read no one read Animal Farm. No one's thinking.
Yeah. It's just a...
That's why I go back to what I said. I'm discouraged because I think most people really don't know what the fuck is happening right now. They don't see any danger in what's
And there's a
going
lot
on.
of- and there's a
they
lot of
just want to
information,
get
yeah.
back to their small little lives that they had.
But it's
That's
not only
it.
that, I mean, we're just, I mean, there's so much information raining down, right? On not on a daily basis, like on an hourly, if not
By
on
the
a
minute.
fucking-
Yeah, every
We are
moment
being
there's something
bombarded.
else.
You don't
It's
know
like
what-
when they give discovery to lawyers and it's too much stuff, it overloads them, right? That's how I feel sometimes.
So so look, I don't know. I
Bum,
mean,
bum, 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 bum,
let me just let me just skip over into Quebec. I'm gonna say something and say nothing basically because there's a budget coming out on the 22nd of March here in Quebec.
Budget.
And it's always interesting the budgets that are presented like in the electoral in the electoral year, like right before the elections, to see exactly what kind of candy they're gonna throw at us, right? So I'm saying nothing because we don't know yet. I mean, the budget.
There's a new
hasn't
podcasting budget coming out for us.
There's it hasn't been tabled yet, so exactly what's in there we don't know. But everyone is suspecting that there's going to be a shitload of things just tossed at people. There's a lot of speculation on taxes being dropped down and huge grants given to businesses or small businesses rather.
I'll believe it when I see it.
So we're looking all into that. And speaking of elections, I mean, there's this huge rumor now on whether or not Legault is going to call an early election, and we spoke about that because I thought that he's going to get everyone off guard and call elections like around springtime. Like
While people are happy
April.
that they're back out
Shit.
so they can vote for him.
Big Joe said something in the chat. I don't know if you guys want to address it.
What?
CJD Monday, nobody agrees with the host, and he just kept hanging up or spinning what they said.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fucking Aaron Randall.
that's what they do, bro. They're a bunch of dummies.
The mid-morning show or the late morning show?
The
morning show.
The morning show,
Yeah.
bro.
Well, no, there's the morning show and there's the late morning show.
I don't know. They
Which
do it
one
to
is
people
Elias
all
in
the time,
charge
too.
of?
The late morning show.
It's probably that one.
The morning show is pretty cool, man. Andrew Carter, he's
No,
fun.
no, but
He's
they
good.
call up and you'll hear it's like, the problem is these Nazis are taking over. And the guy's like, I'm here now. I guarantee I'm not a Nazi. These Nazis, they come from all over the place. Most of them are white supremacists. Another guy calls, I'm African. These white supremacists sometimes are black. And it's just, you can't
what
find
the crazy thing is I find about CJD?
Yeah.
CJD, their hosts, they're not, in my opinion,
Well, most of them are uneducated. One of the guys, the guy that didn't know how Amazon works. They're fucking
in my
dumb.
opinion, they're not.
And he was the tech guy on.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Do you
Breakfast
remember
Television.
this? Breakfast television? Hold on, you're telling I can make order and they deliver to my house, not in Malacca, your neighbor's house. You fucking idiot! What?
Okay, my theory about CJAD is they're one of the few stations that is not actively and knowingly doing what the government wants them to. They're just dumb. They're stupid. They're
They are doing what the.
No, but inadvertently.
No. They're 100%. There's party. I spoken with a man who was in there who recently escaped. It's 100%.
Oh, right,
Who's red
yeah,
billing
he
now?
did say that.
Yeah, who's red? No, you weren't here for that.
But he says it often.
No. It was a hard conversation we had last
was
week.
it?
Yeah, it was 100%. Now I see like it's all propagizis.
Propagizis. Propagizis, breezies.
Oh, jeez. Let's talk a little bit about Russia, guys.
Yeah, what about them?
What the hell's going on down there?
Red Square will be great again.
You asking me? Because I like the Russians. Look, all good. Russians and
Miguel.
Ukrainians
Miguel
want
the
peace.
Blue.
I don't think they want peace.
Biden wants war.
Let's just.
Well, they do want peace. But Russia and Ukraine want peace. What do you mean you don't think they want peace?
Okay, so let's.
You think Russia and Ukraine want to fight?
Okay, let's just.
Ukraine is strong.
Ukraine is weak.
It's the same people.
Here's what bothers me: the exact same argument that we've seen over the last couple of years that countries use to justify their occupation or
Military
invasion or whatever.
exploits.
we just keep seeing that repeated, right? It's like, we have a Russian minority that needs to be protected. Well, there's a Turkish minority that needs to be protected. And we've seen that. Turkey invaded Cyprus for the same reason. They moved into Syria for the same reason.
Interesting analog, but yeah.
And now Russia uses the exact same thing. I'm saying, the eastern part of Ukraine, there's a huge portion of Russians. Yeah. We're going in there to protect. We're doing them a service.
Right.
You're still going over a sovereign state's borders. I mean,
they're supporting the separatist faction.
And what people forget is that this hasn't happened like now, right? I mean, they've been working. There's Russian troops in the eastern part of Ukraine since 2014 when they annexed the Crimea. So there's been a huge presence in Ukraine, and then slowly they've been just kind of
Ukraine, also known as Old Russia.
Planting seeds, and that's what
Kievan Rus.
But that's what Putin came out and said a couple of days. He's like, "Listen, Ukraine is nothing. It's ancient. It's ancient Russia. I mean, this is our territory. We're moving in. We're saving our Russian compatriots."
Hold on. We're gonna.
I haven't been following.
Let's call a spade, George, because there's something that you failed to mention. These provocations, did they just start randomly? Putin's like, you know what? I want Ukraine. No. I don't know why you're looking for answers. You know the truth. The reason why they started is because there was talks again of Ukraine joining NATO.
Okay.
Which for people who don't know what NATO means, it means organization to fuck Russia. So this has been happening for years. Now they promised years ago there will be no more. And if you want to have the documents, because I downloaded them a few fucking days ago because I was looking into this. They promised Russia, NATO, and the United States of America years ago, we're no longer going to expand closer to your eastern borders. Don't worry, it's not a threat. Ever since they said that, almost every country that was not part of it became part of NATO and is pointing missiles towards Russia. Now, Russia kept saying, what the fuck are you guys doing? No, what the fuck are you guys doing? No, what the fuck? And we know what NATO's for. NATO's for protection against Russia. Protection. That it was to counter Russia.
Yeah.
So now you promise them, guys, we're not going to come closer. We're not going to point any more missiles. And you do it. You surround them with missiles. What do you think is going to happen now when there's that last big fucking border? And you're like, yeah, these guys too are going to point some more missiles. So basically, if anything pops off, we'll just fire from everywhere. You honestly think that a country you've been fucking for so long, and I'm not for, man, I don't want any war. Especially, I love the Ukrainians and the Russians. I don't even like what Russia's doing. Because they're using the Ukraine as a pawn. Yeah. I don't like this. But dude, there are fucking reactions.
So what's the equivalent answer to that? Invade?
No, the equivalent answer is stop provoking.
Okay, yeah,
stop provoking.
Okay, and there's ways of
obviously
stop pointing missiles at a fucking country.
Okay, obviously diplomacy has failed because we've seen how things have evolved.
Yeah, they've lied.
All along that border.
They fucking get along. My portfolio's taking a beating because of this shit.
No, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, okay, we get your point. You're mad because we've been expanding and maybe we
lied.
Maybe we lied, whatever. But
we went against our own treaties.
Okay, yeah, but how is that? Well, no, Russia's going against the Minsk agreement by invading Ukraine.
Yeah, because they fucking been fucked over. People keep lying.
Yeah, but the argument that I'm trying to get through here is, how does one justify the other? How do you just say, oh, you're a sovereign state, I disagree with what you're doing, so fuck you, I'm invading Ukraine?
Yeah, because they go, we can't have another...
How does that make sense, though?
How does it not make sense? So right now you have 30 countries pointing missiles directly at you with foreign military, NATO military, ready to strike at any fucking moment, and now you want to add the biggest fucking land border that you have left, you want to add the military there to point more rockets at us. No.
The biggest one?
It ends here. For them, yeah.
The
single country, it's the Ukraine, because it's an actual border.
I just don't...
It's multiple. It's China and Kazakhstan.
The public story from Russia, basically.
Mongolia.
That, there are Russian separatists that need us, right? I'm sorry, but I know their language is different, but aren't the Ukrainians and the Russians basically the same thing?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, but it's a sovereign state, man. It doesn't matter what it is.
No, I don't want them to. I don't like them doing this. The Ukrainians have their own thing. Fucking Ukrainian
people. This is like Greece going at Cyprus and saying we're going to invade if you don't take care of the Greek people.
Yeah, shit like.
But we are the Greek people.
Yeah,
we're just called Cyprus.
But exactly,
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. That's why.
So that whole cover story makes no sense.
No, the only reason why they have that cover story is just to circumvent international laws and be like, oh no, we're just trying to help ethnic people. Everybody knows that's bullshit. But what I'm saying is the reason we got there, which he avoided talking about, is bro, we've been fucking pointing guns and pushing these guys as much as we can. It's fucking crazy. We can no longer continue to be NATO's bitch.
Any kind of alliance of its own where it's pointing missiles back at NATO alliance members?
Well, it can't point at every NATO. That's the thing. It's so much of the planet. That's the problem.
At this point, this is my solution to the situation. Vlad, you put up a good fight. We suck. We lied. But you kind of lost.
No,
so
no,
like, back
no,
off.
no.
Look, everyone
It's not
is
lost.
still-
This is the thing. He has nuclear fucking missiles.
So does
Dude,
everyone
they
else.
could
More
end.
than the
No,
US,
yeah,
actually.
not everyone else. No one has more than him. He could end
only need one.
all of us. He could end all of us.
Yeah.
So what should happen logically, is you look at this, and if you don't want war, but the people making money, the defense contracts, the military contracts, these guys are pushing for this because they want a battle.
Yeah,
They don't give a
it's
shit about
yeah.
our kids. So, because what would happen normally right now, if you don't want, you're like, oh, okay, you know what? I do see that if I come outside your house with 50 people and we all point guns at you, and then when you come out try to defend yourself, we tell you, what are you, a fucking asshole? Why are you being aggressive? I could see why you get pissed off, and if you have a fucking grenade in there, you might throw it at us. I could see why. So we're going to back off. We're going to remove some of the guns. They're not doing that. They're not backing off. They're asking for more. They want more guns pointed towards Russia. So that's the part that the media doesn't talk to you about because there's so much money from these fucking Lockheed Martin and all these defense contracts. Your kids are going to die in small proxy wars like this, whether it's in Georgia, whether it's in Ukraine. People's kids will die so that these guys can make fucking money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of difficult to imagine how an armed conflict is inevitable in the region. I mean, everyone's preparing for it. I mean, even Ukraine
mean
has
it's not inevitable?
Even Ukraine.
Never mind.
Is
Go on.
inevitable.
No, it
Yeah.
is kind of inevitable now. It's a little scary unless they back off. Like they have, dude. You can't do that.
But
to
it's hard.
people.
It's hard to see how that can happen. So even Ukraine has sent a warning to all the residents living in the area to
Yeah.
leave,
Yeah.
to evacuate because they're expecting the worst.
Someone died this morning. I read there was a death.
Well, they killed the Ukrainians killed the Greek guy last week.
a Greek guy.
Yeah, I think the two Greek guys they were.
Oh no, they were Greeks living in Ukraine.
Yeah,
they were bombed.
the
yeah,
soldiers-
Ukraine has a huge.
The soldiers were drunk. Apparently, they were inebriated.
Old Greek population. That's where Matsis's father was the ambassador.
Oh, interesting.
yeah. So, what was I going to say?
All Greeks.
Oh yeah, so
They're not really Greeks. They're like Rossopodi.
Yeah,
right?
they're Greeks.
just
Whatever
Greek
it is. No,
Orthodox.
there's a Greek
Greeks.
community there. I mean, so there's a bunch of sanctions now being called on Russia. The foreign affairs, the minister of foreign affairs of Russia, Lavrov, I think his name is,
Yeah,
came out
Lavrov.
and said, "Do whatever you want. We don't care."
Yeah, it's Russia. The whole point
your-
is that they were self-sustained.
Your sanctions
Yeah.
won't do anything for us except one that may hurt them a lot, coming from Germany, which is probably going to hurt, and that's them putting an end to this huge pipeline that they were negotiating with to bring energy
Right.
into Europe.
What about the 70% of energy that Germany gets right now that's from Russia? What if Russia was about to close that?
But that's the thing.
Who's
So,
that going to hurt?
I don't know if that exists or if
Europe.
It's,
It
no,
exists.
yeah, I know.
70% of their energy right now.
Is it that much?
Yeah.
It seems
God
dumb
damn.
considering you have the Scandinavian nations so close. Why make a deal with Russia?
Oh, Russia's got all the natural gas. I don't fucking know.
Well, yeah, everything.
Gazprom is huge, bro. Gazprom is
you're
everywhere
right,
in
you're
Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, everything is going from the Caspian Sea or the Black Sea through Russia into Europe, and all the gas pipelines are coming in from the Middle East into Russia and into Europe. I mean, I'm not so sure if the sanctions are going to work. I mean, some of them are. I mean, Canada came out the other day. I'm not sure exactly. I didn't read them exactly in detail, but I mean, there's sanctions against two of the biggest banks over there. They're eliminating any possible investments in those regions that have proclaimed themselves independent and that Russia recognized their independence. Which obviously, what we're thinking now is okay. Well, they proclaimed their independence and we recognized it, so technically, they're independent states. We got to move in to protect them.
Yeah.
It's so
Is that
ridiculous.
how simple it works? Maybe we should just all declare a new state here.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
exactly
that'll
how.
solve
Yeah,
all our
yeah,
justice.
that's
You're not
exactly-
our prime minister. We're fucking.
that's exactly how it works.
Island of Montreal. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly. But this is what happened in Syria.
Yeah.
You have Turks say, "Oh, look, there's Turkish minorities over there. We
Yeah.
got to protect them, so we got to extend a little buffer zone."
Yeah, it's all
over there."
nonsense.
Same thing in Cyprus.
It's just that Russia was provoked for fucking 30 years to do this.
Azerbaijan did it in Artsakh. This is just last year.
with
Yeah.
Armenia.
Exactly.
He
The
got this
Artsakh
idea from the Turks. The Turks have been doing this for years. He got this idea from them, from Erdogan. That's where he got the idea
I think, to be honest, not Erdogan, but the under Ataturk when Turkey became Turkey. By the way, did you see Turkey change their name legally in English?
from. Yeah, because they got mad.
They got mad that people kept calling them Turkeys.
I told you guys this and nobody believed me. I
do
said
you
on a podcast and people like
I wasn't
2
there.
weeks ago when
Yeah, he
people
said
laughed at me.
last week. I think.
They are
Yeah.
officially in
He
English.
laughed at me too. I think people thought it was
Turkey.
yeah.
I laughed at you. I laughed at the name that
Yeah.
you're like, well, okay, what are you gonna name it now? Turkey.
Yeah, that's what he
Yeah.
did. That's
What
what
is
they
it
called
now?
it.
It's the way it's spelled in Turkish.
Turk Y-E.
It's like you.
E-Y.
It's like you're happy to see a Turk. Turk, yeah.
Turkey. That was always my solution for the Macedonia naming issue. Sure, you guys can call yourself that, but write it in Cyrillic. So no one can read it. And then that's your answer. Yeah, Makedonsky. Yeah, we're clearly the Greek people. Makedonsky.
The Greek people.
Macedonian cafe.
But this is serious. Besides everything that's happening right now, and there's all these geopolitical things that none of us understand, and there's all these dynamics that are going to play out in the next couple of hours, maybe even or days. A potential conflict on the European continent,
It's crazy.
especially with Europe, with Russia, is huge. It's really, really, really serious.
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean.
big deal.
Like you said, the whole purpose of NATO was to avoid a conflict, which
It was. I never said that. The whole purpose of NATO was to fuck Russia, is what I
To
said.
win a conflict.
Yeah, to win a conflict.
okay,
against
yeah.
Russia,
Well, I mean, there was this whole debate. Like, it was basically
So why aren't we?
you're the communists and we're not,
Yeah.
and we're gonna make sure that
But-
you know.
But now that they're no longer
but what I'm-
communists
sorry,
per se,
sorry, but what I'm trying to
I mean, they're not.
But what I'm trying to say is that since then there hasn't really been a huge conflict with Russia, right? I mean,
because we've been inching towards them.
things have been
Things have
maintained.
been okay for like 20 years. Like, okay.
No, things not really. I'd say like since the 80s. I mean,
30 years, fine. Okay.
Look, the Russian. I'm going to say this right now, and
2020,
this is the absolute truth. The Russians have a right to be mad, but what they're doing is wrong because the people that they're basically hurting are the Ukrainians who didn't do dick. They're just trying to make their country better and all
the
that.
Ukrainians have been suffering Russian bullying fucking
For a while.
years
That's what I'm
now,
saying.
you know what I mean,
So the
How many-
Russians
how
are
many-
right
how
to
many
be
times
pissed
has
with
it
NATO.
happened?
They're 100% right to be pissed with NATO. But the real person that's eating the brunt of this right now is Ukrainians in all those border countries. It's not, and they don't dictate policy in NATO.
Like I remember back in 2014 when the whole crisis with Crimea happened, which by the way went almost unnoticed, right, by the international community. Almost, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Remember
nobody
that
cared.
documentary that came out about it? Winter on Fire.
That was about Crimea, eh?
Was it about Crimea?
No,
Or was it about
no.
no, it wasn't about the
No,
Crimea.
I remember
It was
the
before.
month.
It was about a
or-
good old acid face.
I remember the months or maybe the year leading up to that. Fucking Russia turning off the gas and the electricity to Ukraine. Like it's like
crazy.
people were living on fucking candlelight, dude,
Yeah.
because Russia decided, you know what?
Ukraine became very romantic overnight.
The birth rate skyrocketed.
Yeah, exactly.
9 months.
So you just have some moron up there. Well, moron. Just I can just the switch. What was that, Ukraine?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't like the fact that
Student protests.
Enjoy the
Winter on
dark.
Fire.
I don't like the fact that Ukraine is getting punished.
Also-
that's why Biden's fucking crazy. He's literally causing this, and he's like, bro, you're making people suffer. Shut the fuck up.
He's definitely stoking the flames over there because he came out in his statement yesterday when he announced the
new
sanctions,
program. Yeah, he's gonna
saying that the U.S. does
Will
not
no longer supply crack
No, he
pipes
said
to
like
the
we do
Ukraine.
not wish a war. Nobody wants a war, but we also won't stand down to have Russia invade NATO countries. It's like, why are you calling it a NATO fucking member when
Yeah, it's
they're
not a NATO member, yeah.
And that's the whole issue right now.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you,
You think he just got confused?
no, well, he's
Maybe,
confused.
maybe.
he got confused, but the reason why is
but on a
because
diplomatic level, it's a big mistake to
no
just
kidding.
the people, bro, the people that are behind him need this war, bro. Lockheed Martin, all these fucking the defense contractors, dude. You know how much money they're gonna make?
Yeah. Do you remember when all the people who are mad at us for not wanting to get more vaccines used to agree with us that the military-industrial complex and Big Pharma were trying to fuck us?
Yeah.
You remember that was a simpler time, man?
And then now,
Now
what
those
is
same people are like, no, get your job and do
Whatever
what they say.
you say, Big Pharma will like you.
Why are you leaving? Are you one of those military-industrial complexes?
Gotta take a piss.
Putin
Oh, it's
is
a call,
calling.
it's a call.
Yeah, yak shumash.
I thought he make urines.
I ordered my lunch because I'm hungry.
I saw. What'd you order?
I got a little burrito bowl happening.
Fish fillet?
No fish fillet.
Burrito bowl, huh?
Yeah.
Poseidon, why'd you get so
I felt so hard
excited?
this morning on the ice. I pulled my fucking. It's like the longer, the more time that passes from the fall, the more sore I feel. I felt fine when I got up, but now I'm feeling my age, man.
Yeah, this Ukraine thing, bro, it fucking bugs me because it's
I'll be
again,
honest,
it's always innocent people that eat the dick.
There's nothing to solve here. There's no discussion where you can be like, you know what I think they should do, because there's nothing.
I know what there is. What do you mean? There's something huge. Back down. Stop pointing guns at people.
Will the people who make the money off of these fights agree to that?
But that's
No.
the thing. These governments need to be like, you know what? Why the fuck am I gonna murder kids? Why am I gonna, and start a new world war for what?
You know
Fuck
what?
off.
Maybe we should just let the ball roll, like I was saying before. Let's go into this dystopian future so that everyone can be so angry that the world basically ends and we start over.
This war, though, if we do go to war, could lead to
a real war.
the end of most of civilization. Yeah, because the bombs that are
I think Russia will
available,
drop nukes.
bro.
I don't know.
Accidents also happen too.
Accidents do happen.
Fanatics. There's a lot of problems that could come from this, and this is a chain reaction that would kill all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
It's very dangerous. So to not want to discuss and talk about, all right, guys, maybe I'm the problem. Do you know what I mean? Like in a relationship, okay, maybe I said this wrong, or no, they're just like Biden right now, just fucking fanning the flames of war. He's been doing it for 2 weeks, dude.
Biden
shut the fuck up, Biden.
He's extremely inflammatory and aggressive in his speech right now.
Yeah.
He's like an angry old guy who wants people off his porch, though. Like, he's a danger to the modern world.
They're all these politicians
Like,
are
Trump
dangerous.
was dangerous too in his own right. He went off the handle.
Dude, Trump was dangerous too, because you know why Trump was dangerous? Because Trump was dangerous because he wouldn't consult. So Trump was dangerous in the sense that, let's say, I don't know, Putin, for example. If Putin one day would have said, I don't like Trump's hair. Trump was the kind of guy that goes like,
Kill him off.
Yeah, fuck this asshole. If one of his jets goes, we're going to blow up the whole fucking country. Because of his attitude, right? Trump was that kind of guy. Now, sometimes that worked. Sometimes you intimidated people who would talk a lot of shit, like the North Koreans, and they would back down. But against Putin, that shit doesn't work. And Putin's been pushed
I
to
can't
the
believe
brink.
Trump went to North Korea. It still blows
Oh,
my
yeah,
mind.
it's true. Trump, yeah.
He went and hung out with him.
Yeah,
Look, Trump has done.
There's
Look.
that situation where they blew up like the American base, remember? And then he was asked to
showed
retaliate.
restraint, yeah.
and he
in Iran. Do
That's
you remember
right.
that?
Yes, I do
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah. He said that they go, so you're gonna retaliate, you're gonna start a war with Iran, and he said, I can't justify that, even though they wanted war because it was the
Exactly.
military.
Yeah.
He goes, I can't justify that because they attacked a base that they knew was empty,
Yeah.
and planes and shit were damaged. Yeah, he goes, but no human was damaged.
had no
So I can't justify killing human beings.
Yeah.
And that came from fucking Trump, and that's something I've always given him credit for, and I never see the
That
media
was
give him
early on
credit.
in his presidency.
No, it
though.
wasn't early on.
Was it late?
So
I
he-
thought it was in the
like
first
he's a
couple
loose
months.
cannon in terms of telling people to go fuck themselves and everything, but
Yeah.
his track record has shown when it comes to shit like
He's
this.
more passive than
He's more
these
passive
fucking
than he
idiots.
is in
Yeah.
these
Are you talking?
fucking
Are you talking
clowns.
about his statement when he said,
No, we're talking
"Me
about
and
Trump.
Putin were very
No,
close,
no,
and this
we're
would have
talking
never
about how
happened"?
Biden-
Oh, he said that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
Did he?
but he's right because
right,
what he said
though.
is he
No,
knows.
sorry. He came out and said, and I'm paraphrasing. He's like, "Yeah, well, the way that Putin did it is basically genius." He called him a genius for the strategy.
He did, though.
to justify
I mean,
the
yeah.
invasion, and he said, "By the way, this would have never happened if I were president." And
No, it is genius. It's just wrong. I don't like it, but it's a genius ploy. But it's
Hitler
completely
was
wrong.
fucking efficient,
What
but he
we
was a
were talking
monster,
about
like,
was
you know what I
was
mean?
Trump, because you remember Trump. Remember in Iran, in order to retaliate against that guy that they had off, the Americans, they dropped bombs on. They blew up that air base that the Americans had, but they had warning. They were warned that they were going to do it, so everyone had moved out. The person moved out. So when they dropped the bombs, they took out equipment. Nobody died, and then they told Trump, "Okay, so now we're going to war with Iran, right?" And Trump said, "No, we can't retaliate because they took down the base, but we had warning, so no casualties. So we can't justify. I can't justify," he said, "killing Iranians now when we had no casualties." No other president has ever said that. You look at them crooked, and they're ready to fucking start a war.
But Biden
Why?
is a
Because
little extra aggressive.
Yeah,
because
Biden-
with dementia comes a bit of aggression.
yeah. No, it's just the military-industrial complex, bro. They're behind him. They're like, "That's what you have to do." He doesn't realize that it's going to be other people's kids that are going to die.
He doesn't realize, but he just doesn't.
He
give a
doesn't
shit.
realize. They don't think that far ahead. They think this is what's necessary. He doesn't realize it's going to be your kids.
I mean,
going to war.
I feel bad for the guy, and obviously, I mean, he's clearly dealing with some health issues,
Yeah.
right? But it's degrading so quickly.
Yeah, it's fast.
Jesus, they were showing, during the election, they were showing.
He was on uppers and shit, man, during the campaign.
I can't remember who was comparing, because they were showing clips of him doing the election debate, the vice presidential debate when
Yeah.
he was with
Obama?
Obama, the first run.
and he had his wits about him.
Holy shit, the guy was good. He was so impressive. And then they're showing different cuts of him speaking publicly
mean,
now.
it's, what, 10
and
years
it's like,
later?
what the fuck? Yeah, it was whatever, 8 years.
The
Whatever
guy's
it was.
old. How old is he? 80 something?
No, he's in his 70s, no?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was in his 80s.
I think he's in his late 70s.
Oh, he might be older than that.
Biden?
Yeah, Biden's
78.
Yeah, he's been 78. It's almost
Late
80. He's been around for a while. He's been dropping the N bombs.
Which by the way, he looks great for a 78-year-old guy. I mean, it's
mostly
just that the
makeup
mind.
and
It's just,
plastic.
no, I mean, look, at 78, dude, you can't look fucking nice and fresh like you are.
No.
But I mean,
you.
physically,
That's very nice of you.
physically, I mean,
Not
the
feeling fresh
guy,
today, George.
he looks great as a 78-year-old. It's just that the mind isn't there.
I think he'll live to be 78.
I hope.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says we will stand against authoritarianism and announces new sanctions against Russia. He said that 2 days after he became an authoritarian state. This is fucking
can't, bro.
gaslighting
This
at its
is-
finest.
What's the official end date for the Emergency Measures Act? I know they have
They
to
said they
announce it.
want it to go permanent, and this is Freeland.
No, I
Oh,
read,
bro, don't fuck with me now because I'm going to get pissed on you.
Dude,
bro,
don't get
bring up
mad.
on Twitter because she said it herself in a fucking press conference.
I heard 30 days.
Freeland, when
I-
she said we want this to continue permanently, she said we want permanent measures for this.
She's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw that
She's
on Twitter.
not- Yeah,
I
bro.
saw it. I saw it.
Because when the announcement came out, what the media sent in was that it's going to be 30 days, but they could be withdrawn sooner.
Bro, you know why this worries me, bro? I just finished. I was listening to a podcast. I listened to it about an hour and 30 minutes.
A lot of misinformation.
Okay, I listened to a podcast where last time, well, not last time, that this person was in a country. It's the one with the ex-jihadist.
Oh yeah, the Rogan's thing.
He was in a country where
Majid, what's the name?
Yeah, where the government brought up emergency powers, and they were like, "This is temporary," but it's been 20 years. There's still emergency powers, bro.
Yeah, well, just like our fucking income tax.
Yeah, just like that, and just like.
By the way, I was
World War One ended a while ago,
just
bro.
like the health emergency measures. Oh, 2 weeks, bro. They've renewed them 100. How many times? 100 something times now.
But you know what, guys?
Bro, they're all full of shit.
Just to counter the argument about the taxes, a country like Canada, you can't really say that they've used the taxes wrong. Like, I mean, we have pretty good services with respect to tax that we're paying.
With respect to who? In the modern world, we have some of the worst healthcare.
Provincially.
What does it matter? You live in a province.
Some of the highest taxation.
No, forget the highest. Yeah, we literally have the worst. Have you ever seen the list? Yeah. We're one of the worst. We haven't used our money properly. What are you talking about? We've mismanaged our funds repeatedly. The streets are like post-war Bosnia. There's fucking holes everywhere.
Yeah, but look,
it doesn't matter where it is. That's a government. That means the government mismanaged.
Yeah, we have social programs that other countries don't. We have, the daycare.
Yeah, but they don't work. So hold on, we have nationalized healthcare here, where they keep telling you don't gotta worry, go to the hospital unless there's more than 4 people here, then we can't handle you. What are you talking about? This is horrible. And the States, people talk a lot of shit. They pay individually insurance instead of paying into the pot, but at least they get fucking services they're paying into. Here we all pay into the pot.
Statistic for you.
Yeah, go.
When I was working that contract in Florida, I had sat down once with my friend at the time, who was an ex-government, like high up government official in Kazakhstan, who had moved to the States. Really, I mean, just interesting tidbit, right? And we did the math based on how much I'm taxed here and how little he's taxed in Florida, plus his cost of living and how much insurance costs him.
Yeah.
Right? And it basically came out the same to what I'm being taxed, more or less, but he had the choice to increase or decrease certain things, whereas I don't.
Yeah, and also the service there is way better.
I've been in a few Florida hospitals, not always.
I've been in hospitals 3 times in the States.
In Florida, no, I'm talking about Florida.
I've been to one hospital in New York, and I got to say, I was in and out in 20 minutes.
That's what I'm telling you. The longest I've waited was 11 minutes. They were sorry.
But they did charge me $1,300 to fucking stitch me. It's like,
that's different. But if you had your insurance, or you by the way, you should have had. I have a credit card that covers shit like that when I travel. Yeah.
But you know what? I would rather, let's say it costs what, $2,000 for a broken arm.
Yeah,
bro. I would rather. How many times have you broken a bone, bro? I broke.
Yes.
I would rather pay $2,000
one time.
That 1, 2, even 3 times, bro.
Because he gets into a lot of trouble.
No, not me personally. But if I'm
joking.
Okay. I would rather pay that. I would rather pay $6,000 in a fucking lifetime, because after the first 2-3 times you break a bone, you learn your fucking lesson.
Assume that right now you're not paying taxes for healthcare.
Yeah.
You fall and you break your arm. You got $2,000 to fix your arm.
Yeah, of course, because he's saving on taxes.
But he's Poseidon, so he's not, because he's spending it on
that's a moot point. Yeah, you can't tell him where he's going to spend his money on.
Taxes, he'd have more money.
Of course. Why wouldn't he?
Not
bro,
everyone.
I used to work, bro.
I don't care about not everyone. That you can't dictate that on some person what they decide. But
but I'm just saying, right now he would not have that $2,000.
Why not? Why wouldn't he have that $2,000? Yeah.
Bro, I used to work around 50 hours a week.
What's his tax bracket? Him 30%?
Around, yeah.
Yeah. What's 30% of $1,000? $300? You have an extra $300 right now?
Of course I do.
Now he does.
Right now?
Yeah.
Right now I do, yeah.
Oh, you're fucking liquid right now. I didn't know he was flush. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That settles my score.
Yeah, of course.
I did the math. We're good.
Yeah.
But what was this?
He's thinking, he's like, do I? Fuck, I don't think I do. I bought that jacket this
the
morning.
other thing I noticed by going to the States,
you bought, bro? Where'd that money come from?
We're very misinformed. The other thing I noticed by the States is we're very misinformed on what goes on there in terms of, it does suck to think that here we could just walk in and there but there they still have a basic, by the way, somebody said you get shot there, they won't take care of you. That's not true either.
That's not true. They'll just bill you for it.
There's a lot of myth around it. But I'm just saying, look, here, you know what's good about social program stuff? This kind of, the shit that we do here is great for people that don't want to work. It's great for people that don't want to work.
Yeah.
When you actually work 40, 50 hours a week, you have a family and you're trying, this system fucks the shit out of you because you're getting penalized for working.
I see.
That's the truth.
The call to the South has gotten deeper and deeper.
But that's the truth. That's the truth. Like him, now he knows he's a business. He's paying all kinds. When you actually want to work, and you want to put in the hours, you would like to reap the rewards of the sweat of your brow.
You never truly understand how fucked the system is until you start to make money.
Exactly.
Real money, not like when you're a kid. Because the first year that I did well with my business, I was like, what do you mean I have to give all this back now? Because I don't get deducted at source, right?
My accountant actually last night sent me
What you owe for the quarter?
Yeah, no, it's for the year.
For the year.
The business, the corporate tax. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't opened it yet.
You have an email? Open it right now. Take a look. I
mine
want to
is-
see your reaction on camera.
He's gonna do it at the end of the month, me, so I have to wait till March to do it, and I'm already like, oh boy. Even though I got rattled last year,
I did
it's
mine.
the
I
first
got
year I
super
ever
rattled.
lost money. I went minus.
It was a bad year.
Yeah. So he says, look, you went minus. You shouldn't get clipped that hard. He goes,
Except they're
but
still gonna clip you.
Yeah, he goes, they're gonna find a reason. Yeah, that's what they do. So all this to say, George, I've learned that there are a lot of things that people do better than me. Countries do better than this country, and also other countries do worse than this country.
Mm-hmm.
The trick is to figure out what's best. You mold and you work. But this whole digging our heels in, no, we're correct. The Russia thing, Russia is incorrect about how they're handling this in the sense that the people suffering are not the people causing their strife. But my God, if we're going to sit here and pretend that we haven't been fucking the Russians, we, NATO countries, for 30 years, and we don't understand why they're mad, bro, that's a lie.
But it's only that, aside from the armed conflict that may potentially happen and the devastation that will cause in the region, the repercussions economically that we will suffer over here are,
I'm already
are
feeling it.
Huge.
I'm already feeling
I
it.
mean, just the gas prices and all these things. It's incredible.
So that's what I'm saying. It's all we have to find a way to coexist, stick together. None of this divisive shit, but they're all about divisive shit because it makes money for them. I don't have stocks in any of these. I don't have shares in any of these defense contracts. I'm not making anything.
Maybe we should.
They are, though. They're going to make all kinds of fucking money. And you know who's going to suffer? People like him.
Yep.
Yeah, the low IQ. Hit the music, Poseidon.
That's not right. The no IQ.
We brought real debates, real news this morning. The Morning Show, hosted by Jiggity Jiggity, George Handrizos, father of 4. 2 girls and 2 boys. George Handrizos can also be caught on the YouTubes with his other podcast, Backstage Podcast. Look at the links in the description. And Just Us Dads, where George talks with 2 other dads of similar ilk. They talk about what it's like raising children in this day and age. And you know what it's like? It's crazy. There's a lot of masks involved, a lot of digital stuff, a lot of iPads. Phil can make a propaganda film for you. Phil is a professional filmmaker. That's why his name is Phil. It's Phil with an F. And he also makes... What? Phil with an F. I've seen that. Yeah. Ugh. They do that by accident?
A lot of people do, yeah.
I've never seen that. I just joke.
Because they want you to fill them.
Yeah, even fill their hole. Phil also
make films
podcaster.
with a PH.
Fill my hole. Links are in the description. Phil, though, if you reach out to his website right now, he's busy working on these crypto documentaries. But once he's done with that, he can work on a propaganda film for your business. Make your business seem legitimate. Poseidon is already hiring him for his business. Twitch.tv/DPoseidon69 is his business where he plays with children. He plays video
Why do you
games
think
with
I was
children.
asking how much extra money he had?
Poseidon69, yeah, on Twitter and on Instagram. PantelisComedy.com. Follow my stuff. Just announced 2 dates for the Rodage in French in Laval, March 31st. Tickets are available through the website or wherever you want. And if you're a Patreon, there is a promo code until Monday to get a significant discount. It is a funny promo code. Keep it to yourself. Thank you guys. PantelisComedy.com. Go fuck yourself.
Peace.
Later.
This
Don't
Russia
touch
thing
my
is very-